Qijing knocked the thermos I offered out of my hand. I was forced to marry you. Did you really think I'd ever fall in love with you? Once that video got out, everyone knew the rising star was trapped in a marriage, and I was the clingy burden he couldn't shake off. When the night shoot wrapped, everyone silently agreed to ignore me, still tied to the tree. I was rescued in the early hours of the next morning, stiff-legged. I stumbled back in the dark and fell over a cliff. When I woke up again, I had gone back 4 years and met someone who openly and unabashedly favored me, but Qijing was not pleased. 1. Bow 3 times. A deep, mournful voice echoed through the hall. I froze. I sensed an intense, impossible to ignore gaze from the side. Turning my head, I saw Qijing bent halfway over, glaring at me with a face full of fury. 2 seconds later, he spoke in a low, suppressed voice. Jiang Manyu, could you show a little courtesy? I mechanically bent down, my mind a complete mess. And now, we bid farewell to Comrade Qi Weiyang. The host's voice echoed in my ears. This was my grandfather's funeral. What's going on? Didn't I just fall off a cliff? A life flashing before my eyes. But in my memory of the funeral, Qijing didn't speak to me. In a daze, someone grabbed my wrist. Qijing leaned close to my ear and sneered. What kind of occasion is this for you to zone out? The moment Grandpa's gone, you can't even be bothered to show basic filial piety. The distinct heat and pain in my wrist made me realize that everything happening right now was undeniably real. I had been reborn. After taking 3 silent, deep breaths, I pulled my hand free, took a step to the side, and put some distance between myself and Qijing. With solemn reverence, I bowed 3 times. Grandpa, I'm sorry, I don't have the courage to marry Qijing again. 2. The two of us stood on the steps in front of the funeral home entrance, waiting for Qijing's parents. The early spring sunlight was gentle. The fear and chilling despair I felt before death truly made it feel like a lifetime ago. Jiang Manyu, you really do have a lot of nerve, came Qijing's cold voice from beside me. I turned my head to take another look at the man who had occupied my heart since adolescence. Compared to the exceptionally stern demeanor he would develop years later, the man before me now seemed somewhat more placid. After all these years, I still can't figure out why he despises me so much. Grandfather is forcing me to marry you. You must be thrilled, aren't you? I cut him off. Don't bother. What? He asked, his brow furrowed. The night I was abandoned in the woods was bitterly cold. A sharp pain in my lower abdomen, whipped up by the icy wind, kept pounding at my temples. By the time I was rescued the next day, my legs were completely numb, useless. As I lay, waiting for the blood to flow back and sensation to return, that conversation about our secret marriage being exposed replayed in my mind. I finally understood. Qijing is a block of ice I could never hope to melt. I said, we are not getting married. I met his gaze. Qijing, I won't chase after you anymore. I'll find a new place and move out as soon as I can. He took a sudden, sharp step toward me. Jiang Manyu, what are you trying to pull now? To make things easier for both of us. I'll stay out of your way from now on. Qijing was stunned for a moment, then curled his lips into a mocking smile, playing hard to get. I shook my head. Before I could say anything, I saw Qijing's parents walking over quickly. The elderly couple's eyes were still rimmed with red, and they kept glancing back toward the farewell hall. Finally, they sighed and waved a hand. Come on, I'll take you back. Once in the car, Auntie poked my cheek and said to Qijing in the passenger seat, how many times do I have to tell you, you need to take good care of Manyu? Why has she lost so much weight lately? Qijing stared out the window, lost in thought. I took Auntie's hand. I haven't lost weight, and it's not his fault. Ignoring me, she went straight to pat Qijing on the shoulder. I'm talking to you. What? Qijing turned to look at her. I said, be nicer to your future wife. The impatience in Qijing's eyes was unmistakable. I quickly grabbed the aunt's arm. Qijing and I aren't getting married. Her eyes widened. Why not? I glanced at Qijing. For some reason, he looked even angrier. Well, it's about freedom in relationships. He doesn't like me, and I don't like him either. A marriage like that wouldn't be happy, I said quietly. Auntie looked utterly skeptical. After all, even the family dog could tell I had a crush on Qijing. She probed cautiously. Did you two have a fight? No, nothing like that. You've been together day in and day out for so many years, you know each other inside out. Just give it a try, Auntie persisted, refusing to let it go. Don't bother trying. I gave it my all in my last life. From the front seat came a loud clatter. Qijing had just hurled a water bottle into the side storage compartment. 3. In our junior year, both Qijing and I started going to auditions here and there. For the sake of convenience and flexibility, Qijing's parents rented a small 2-bedroom apartment for us near the school. Perhaps because I had already lived at his family's place for several years prior, he didn't object to moving into that apartment with me. We ended up living there for 2 years, and it was during that time that we got our marriage certificate. Compared to the luxury apartment Qijing bought after he made it big, that little rental place actually felt more like a home, at the very least. Back then we still made time to sit down and have meals together. It made me think of something. I pulled out my phone, and sure enough, my shopping cart was still full of household items I never got around to ordering. On this timeline, we had just rented the place, and my head was full of ideas on how to make it cozier. Looking back now, it all seems so pointless. Clear the shopping cart. I looked up at the person in the driver's seat and said, "Uncle, you can drop me off at the intersection up ahead. I'm going to meet a classmate." While waiting for my aunt and uncle earlier, I scrolled through my social media feed. I saw a post from a girl in the dorm next door saying her family had a place for rent near the school. I sent her a message saying I'd go check it out in the afternoon. At the street corner, I saw a classmate who felt both familiar and like a stranger. Fanqing waved at me with a smile. "Xiaoyu, over here." She linked her arm with mine in a familiar gesture, leaving me momentarily dazed. After years of navigating the cutthroat entertainment industry in my past life, I had long forgotten what it felt like to walk arm in arm with a close girlfriend. "Hey, where'd you go?" "I'm talking to you," she said, giving my arm a little shake. "What did you just say?" "This place belongs to my brother. Let's go find him and let him know first." The whole way there, my mind was filled with all sorts of chaotic thoughts from my past life. When I snapped back to reality, the air was already filled with the sound of boisterous laughter and chatter. "Whoa, you're not betting on Wild Bro. Looks like I'm set for a month of hot pot." I've noticed Wild Bro's arm definition has gotten even more impressive lately. Fanqing pulled me along as we hurried over. "Another match. How many meals are we betting this time?" "Hey, Ching's here." The circle of men gathered ahead parted to make some space. I looked up and saw a man on the boxing ring, leaning lazily against a corner post. He was leisurely adjusting his gloves, and when he heard us and looked over, a cocky grin was still playing on his lips. Bold and unrestrained, he stared at me intently, his slightly aggressive gaze making me instinctively want to look away, perhaps noticing my discomfort. He finally shifted his gaze to Fanqing. "Shouldn't you be in class? What are you doing here again?" Fanqing pulled me over to the edge of the boxing ring. "Bro, you got kicked out of the house and need money, right? I rented out that little apartment upstairs for you. Who told you to?" Before he could finish, Fanqing pushed me forward. "Here, your tenant," recalling how Fanyi had been cut off. I worried he didn't actually want to rent the place out and that this was all Fanqing's doing, so I waved my hand. "If it's not convenient for you." Sure," he blurted out. "Oh, so can we see the place today?" Fanyi straightened up and began warming up, rotating his wrists and ankles. "We can. But how about placing a little bet first for fun?" "Huh." Fanqing nodded toward a small table not far away. "It's their club's internal friendly match. Bet on the right guy, and there's a reward in it for you." I was just about to refuse when Fanqing pulled me over to the small table, clutching the sticky note in my hand. I glanced back at the boxing ring. My eyes met Fanya's again. Quite unexpectedly, he smiled and mouthed 2 words. "Choose me." My face grew a little warm. In her past life, Jiang Manyu had eyes only for Qijing. Even surrounded by handsome men in the acting department, she never noticed anyone else. That was the first time I realized that true beauty is a feast for the eyes and a balm for the soul. I smiled without thinking and gave him a thumbs up. I turned and tossed the slip of paper with my name on it into the box labeled Fanyi. This is my first time watching a live boxing match. Every fiber of my being was on edge with every punch and counterpunch, while the fighters traded blows in the ring. The men in the crowd were just as busy. Defense, nice, what a sick dodge. Wildman, yes, beautiful, great punch. Fanqing and I were also caught up in the excitement, our clasped hands tightening unconsciously. Finally, as Fanya's fist once again connected cleanly with the side of his opponent's jaw, the referee shouted, "Stop," at the top of his lungs. "Yes," Fanqing exclaimed, then leaned in close to my ear. "To be honest, the only time I can look past how he usually bosses me around and objectively admit he's drop-dead gorgeous is when I watch my brother box." Following her words, I looked toward the ring. Fanyi had already taken off his headgear. His hair was slightly disheveled, with sweat trickling down his temple. Yet even so, he was strikingly handsome, the kind of vibrant, straightforward good looks that commanded attention. The men on the side had already crowded around the ring, all talking at once. "Brother Yi, have you been secretly practicing the butterfly step lately? The second half of your match today was just a pure slugfest." Fanyi fiddled absently with his gloves, offering a somewhat perfunctory nod. It was his way of acknowledging the guys. Suddenly, he turned his head, his eyes gleaming with unmistakable triumph as the corner of his mouth lifted in a silent declaration. I won. That gaze. It felt as though those words were meant for me alone, must be my imagination. Fancheng hooked her arm through mine with a grin. Free dinner again today. Happiness seemed to be contagious, and I found myself smiling too. Then I pulled her aside. You guys go ahead for dinner. Can I go check out the apartment on my own? Come on, join us for dinner. After we eat, we can swing by to check out the place, and then my brother can give you a ride home. Oh no, I really shouldn't. I don't really know anyone. That's what the dinner's for. You'll get to know everyone. Nah. Forget it. My words were cut off by a male voice from behind me. Don't want to go. Fanny had somehow appeared behind us. Talking to him made me inexplicably nervous, but since I really wasn't in the mood for a group dinner, I answered honestly, right, if it's convenient, I can go see the apartment myself. Don't worry, I won't touch anything. Come on, let's go eat. Please, please, Fancheng whined, shaking my arm. The next second, Fanny grabbed the hood of her sweatshirt. Forcing her to take a step back, Fancheng broke free and glared at her brother. What are you doing? Fanny gave her a lazy glance. She said she doesn't want to go. Why are you making such a racket? I just wanted to take Xiaoyu out for some meat. Xiaoyu. Fanny mulled over the name, and as if struck by a thought, let out a soft chuckle. Me. Then, he simply slung an arm around Fancheng's neck, turned to leave, and after a single step, glanced back at me and said, give me 2 minutes. When the two of them came back, Fanny immediately veered off towards a nearby break table, as if he had something to tell his buddies. Fancheng, clutching her phone with a grin from ear to ear, linked her arm with mine and pointed towards the door. Let's go, straight to check out the apartment. I was just about to ask what Fanny had told her when I heard a ragged chorus of whoops and hollers coming from the break table. Fanny whipped his head around to glance at us. Then roared at the table of men, shut up. The chorus of drawn-out oaths in various pitches died down, but a flurry of odd looks came drifting our way. Are these people mentally sound? 5. The apartment's location is truly excellent. It's at most a 15-minute walk to school. When we reached the door and I saw it was a keypad lock, I deliberately turned my back, waiting for Fanny to enter the code. Fancheng also turned around with me. I was puzzled and asked, what are you doing? She pouted and said in a sarcastic, sing-song voice, my own dear brother has never once been willing to tell me his door code, my own flesh and blood. I mean, just think, if something were to happen to him at home one day, I wouldn't even be able to get in to collect the body. No sooner had the words left her mouth than Fanny grabbed the back of her neck. The girl instantly backed down. But, you know, my brother is in such great health. Nothing bad will happen, so I should respect his privacy, right? In my past life, my interactions with Fancheng were just those of ordinary classmates. I didn't know her well and truly had no idea she had such a clownish personality. Hearing this, Fanny chuckled, released his grip, and then jerked his chin toward the door, saying to me, go on in, little raindrop. Fancheng was the first to burst out laughing. Seriously, bro, you're giving people nicknames like a grade schooler. Under Fanya's intensely intimidating glare, Fancheng quickly scurried a few meters ahead and kept teasing him, and it's so corny, little raindrop, what even is that? Ha 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 ha, Fancheng, do you want me to throw you out right now? Okay, Fancheng mimed, zipping her lips shut. I'll stop, ha ha ha. I was a bit embarrassed to be called that at first, but Fancheng's interruption actually made me feel much better. I took a look around. It was a standard one-bedroom apartment with a really good layout. The only thing was, the overall style of the place felt a bit cold and austere. The color palette was nothing but various shades of gray and pure black. Noticing my gaze shifting between the sofa and the floor-length curtains, Fanny spoke up. Not a fan. I quickly waved my hands. No, it's great. Given the incredibly reasonable rent he quoted on the way here, how could I possibly find anything to complain about? Fanny was silent for a few seconds, then asked, when are you moving in? I can come pick you up. No, it's fine. I thought for a moment. I've got a few things to sort out at school over the next couple of days. I should be able to move in around the weekend. I'll just call a cab when the time comes. He didn't say anything else. Instead, he immediately pulled up his WeChat QR code and held it out in front of me. All right. We can sign the contract once you've moved in. Let's sign it now. Fanny was taken aback. Is now a bad time? No, it's not that. But you'll have to wait for me a bit. He glanced at his watch. Is about 10 minutes okay? I nodded. Fanny hurried out, only to return 2 seconds later and drag Fancheng away with him. Left alone, I felt a bit bored. Since I hadn't officially moved in yet, I didn't feel right exploring every nook and cranny, so I just headed out to the balcony, leaning on the railing. I watched the people coming and going in the residential complex below, and for a moment, I felt like crying. It's wonderful to be given another chance at life. It's wonderful to be reborn at a point where everything can still be set right. Just as my eyes began to well up, a figure sprinted past my line of sight and darted into the apartment building. Moments later, Fanny appeared before me, completely out of breath. He waved the paper in his hand, a grin spreading across his face. All set. Let's sign the contract. I was stunned for a couple of seconds. This landlord seemed a bit enthusiastic. I signed the move-in date in black and white and transferred the deposit to Fanny. Only then did my heart settle down. Finally, I had taken the first step in leaving Qijing. 6. My enthusiastic landlord insisted on driving me home, outside the residential complex. I closed the car door and said to Fanny through the rolled-down window, "Thank you for the ride." A smile reached his eyes. "Don't mention it. See you later, little raindrop." He seemed to be someone who smiled a lot. The corners of his mouth would always lift into a gentle curve before he even spoke, which made you feel better without even realizing it. He was the complete opposite of Qijing. I had just begun to make that mental comparison when I turned around and saw a familiar figure sitting by the flower bed. It was Qijing, from a distance, under the dim, yellowish streetlight. I couldn't make out the expression on his face. I walked over to him and saw he was empty-handed. He didn't look like he'd come down to buy anything, which struck me as odd. "What are you doing here?" I asked. A long moment passed, but no reply came. Not wanting to embarrass myself further, I turned to head straight home when my arm was suddenly grabbed. He lifted his gaze and asked, "Who was that?" "My new landlord." Qijing shot to his feet. "Are you really moving out, Jiang Manyu? You've really outdone yourself. When Grandpa was still here, you put on an act to win his favor, and now, the very day we've laid him to rest, you show not a shred of grief and even break your promise." I was speechless. The old man who loved me most was gone, and the pain I felt was deeper than anyone else's. In my past life, during those years of entanglement with Qijing, whenever the hurt became too much to bear, I would run to Grandpa's grave for a one-sided conversation. I've gradually come to terms with the old man's passing, and started to believe he's still with me in a different way, but Qijing, who is separated from me by a 4-year time lag, couldn't possibly understand these shifts in my feelings. I didn't offer much explanation, simply saying, "It's not appropriate for us to live together like this." "What's not appropriate about it? You've lived in my house for years. That's different. With your parents at home, it's fine. But if it's just the two of us, people might get the wrong idea." "The wrong idea?" Qijing repeated the words with a scoff. "Jiang Manyu, isn't every single misunderstanding about us entirely your doing?" I lowered my head. He was right. Because I liked Qijing, I pushed myself to match his grades in high school, and followed him to drama school for university. I followed him all the way into the acting department, a field I had no real interest in. Many people joked that Qijing was bringing his little wife to school. He probably never gave me a clear rejection just to save face, but deep down, he must have been really annoyed. "I'm sorry, it won't happen again. I'll move out as soon as I can." Qijing grabbed my shoulders and spun me around. "Jiang Manyu, playing hard to get doesn't work on me. That's not what I meant. I heard what Li Shuang said to you last week." "Huh, I just came back from a rebirth. How am I supposed to remember what I said to my classmates 4 years ago?" Still playing dumb, Qijing tightened his grip. "Didn't she give you advice? To give me the cold shoulder for a while, so I'd realize how important you are?" I tried hard to remember, but it just wouldn't come back to me. Back then, between Qijing and me, it was always me who was head over heels. Everyone could see it, and whether they had business with me or not. They all seemed to enjoy teasing me and offering their 2 cents. I just let it go in one ear and out the other, never taking it seriously. "Ouch, that hurts." I struggled a bit, and Qijing let go of my hand, rubbing my shoulder. I said earnestly, "Qijing, liking you is just too exhausting. I'm giving up, even if this life doesn't have to repeat the last. I can't pretend the pain I truly experienced doesn't exist." Forcing a smile, I said, "Really, from now on?" His expression turned icy, and before I could finish, he strode away, to his retreating back. I finished the sentence, "You can marry the girl you love, and I'm going to live a truly happy life." 7. I opened the door to a pitch-dark living room, with Qijing's bedroom door shut tight. I moved as quietly as I could and took a quick shower. I had just lain down in bed when a WeChat message from Fanny came through. "Oh, right, the door code is 202200712. My heart skipped a beat. 0712, that's Qijing's birthday. What are the odds? They don't know each other, so it must just be a coincidence. The fact that Fanny used such a specific date as his password most likely means it was a very significant day for him. But I really don't want to be reminded of Qi every single time I unlock the door. After thinking it over for a while, I finally sent the message, "After I move in, can I change the password?" He replied instantly, "Of course, for security reasons, you should change it." The typing indicator flickered at the top of the screen several times. After waiting forever with no real message, I just sent a sticker back, muted my phone, turned off the light, and got ready for bed. Probably because my mind was too full, I tossed and turned for a good while, still wide awake. My mind drifted back to that night I was left alone in the woods. By that time, Qi already had 2 massively popular sweet romance dramas and 1 highly rated serious drama under his belt. The media hailed him as a newly minted top-tier star with immense potential. Scripts kept piling up on his desk, and my chances to see him grew fewer and farther between. So when my agent brought me that unlikable, venomous female supporting role, I didn't turn it down. Because the male lead of that drama was Qi. In all his years of acting, he had never been involved in the slightest bit of scandal with a co-star. For the sake of both our careers, I didn't see a problem with keeping our marriage a secret, but on that set, I witnessed Qi's off-screen interactions with the female lead. He gave her a gentle smile, while the staff nearby were getting excited, shipping them as a couple. I hadn't planned on asking much, but when I brought over the soup, I couldn't help but probe, "What were you and Liu chatting about today? You looked so happy." His expression was indifferent, jealous. Of course I was jealous, but I was afraid Qi would say I didn't trust him, so I didn't admit it. I shook my head and smiled at him. "I know you have a good sense of judgment in everything you do. I trust you." I handed over the thermal flask. "Mom spent ages making this soup and had it delivered specially. Here, try some." Before I could even finish, Qi knocked the flask out of my hand, sending it clattering to the side. "What? Are you using Mom to pressure me again, Jiang Manyu? Sometimes I really wonder if you're their real child and I'm the outsider. What am I even supposed to be?" I froze on the spot. The Qi family elders have always been kind to me, but that's only because I pressed my lips together, forcing the words out with difficulty. "You know perfectly well they just pity me." "Ha," Qi sneered coldly. "As long as you're aware of it." Finally, he leaned in close, bending down to whisper by my ear, "They pitied you and forced me to marry you." "What? Now you're actually hoping I could fall in love with you?" It was noon, and the sun was blazing, yet his words sent a chill straight through me. After Qi left, my hands trembling, I picked up the now dirty thermos from the floor, clutching it. I couldn't hold back my tears any longer. There were no scenes scheduled for the afternoon. I went off to a secluded spot to collect myself. By the time I had pulled myself together and returned to the studio's lounge, my agent grabbed my arm. "Why didn't you tell me you married Qi?" "Huh," she was swiping on her phone. "We've got a problem." The video on the screen was shaky, but it clearly captured the faces of both me and Qi, along with our entire conversation from lunch. I scrolled through the comments in a numb daze. Holy shit. What kind of connections does this simp have to force her crush to marry her? And now the bitch is playing the victim. Stop your damn crying. Listen, lady, a relationship forced like this will only end one way. You'll be tossed aside, just like that thermos. Got it? I wiped my face and shoved the phone back into my agent's hands. "I'm going to find Qi. I've already spoken to him. Teacher Qi said we don't need to do anything on our end. He'll handle it." "No. I still need to talk to him in person. Teacher Qi is fully booked for the afternoon and has already gone to the set." I stopped in my tracks, and my heart sank another inch. How utterly indifferent must he be to remain so composed? 8. Night shoot. From the moment I arrived until my hair and makeup were done, I was under the scrutiny of the crew's varied gazes. Pity, disdain, contempt. Some didn't even bother to lower their voices, gossiping about me just a short distance away. I had thought I'd get a chance to speak with Qi before filming started. Little did I know, I ended up tied to a tree for quite a while. He and the female lead only showed up much later. The ropes they used to bind me that day were painfully tight, and the rag stuffed in my mouth reeked of a foul, pungent odor. I was so upset I could cry, but Qi acted as if nothing was wrong, tilting his head to chat and laugh with the female lead. This scene picks up from last night's night shoot. The villainess, tried to pull a fast one, but the male and female leads saw right through me. They caught me, tied me up to the side, and playfully argued over which of them had figured out my scheme first. It's a key scene where their relationship deepens. In the script, my character is in love with the male lead. Here, I'm bound to a tree in a most undignified state, forced to watch the lovers flirt and banter. It's a perfect mirror of my own real-life situation. I don't even have to act. The heartache and humiliation are practically overflowing. Cut. All 3 of you performed excellently. That's a wrap in one take. Before Qijing got up to leave, he glanced in my direction and seemed to frown, but he didn't say a word and just walked away. The cloth was wedged in a bit too deep, so I whimpered and grunted to signal the staff to let me down first. Everyone tacitly pretended not to hear. By the time I'd managed to push the filthy rag out with my tongue, piece by piece, the place was already completely deserted. The mountain night was bitterly cold. A chill wind carried the pain from my period, throbbing against my temples with each gust. Tears slid down my cheeks without a sound, and at last, I understood. In a one-sided love, neither time nor sincerity is of any use. I finally made up my mind to divorce Qijing as soon as I got back. I don't know how much time had passed before the crew setting up the new scene arrived. "Oh my God, miss, which crew are you with? Why are you tied up here?" After the man untied me, I lost my balance and fell against him. He exclaimed again, "Good Lord, you're as cold as ice. Quick, quick, let me get you back." I slumped to the ground. "No need. I'll rest a bit and head back on my own." If they don't finish setting up the scene on time, they'll get their pay docked. They work from dawn till dusk. It's not easy. I can't hold up their work. The older guy took off his jacket and draped it over me. He ran to the side, rummaged around, and pulled out a thermos, pouring a cup of water. This is my only cup. Hope you don't mind. Here, warm yourself up a bit." Thanks." I took it, warming my hands and taking small sips. "You rest here for a bit. I'll go ahead and get to work. When you feel up to moving, just call for me, and I'll see you back." I nodded. Once the numbness in my hands and feet had subsided, I set the older brother's thermos and jacket aside and quietly got up to leave. The sky was still dark at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I felt even weaker than I had imagined. Staggering along, I took a sudden, empty step into the void. When my eyes opened again, it was in the next life. 9. I've never had a real home, not in the true sense of the word. I was 10 years old enough to understand things. When I was adopted from the orphanage, my adoptive mother didn't let me call her mom. She said to just call her Auntie Zhou. Auntie Zhou told me frankly that her daughter had passed away from a serious illness, and her husband had also died in a work-related accident. She adopted me to have something to live for. Aunt Zhou sent me to a good school and bought me new clothes, but she always treated me like a guest, polite yet distant. Beyond necessary communication, we barely even spoke. During that time, my best friend was the old man next door, Chi Wei-young. He would watch TV with me, listen to me talk about the latest trendy stickers, share snacks with me, and constantly brag about his grandson named Qijing. It was from the old man himself that I found out. Auntie Zhou's husband and Qijing's father worked at the same chemical research institute. The two families had always been quite close. There were two people on duty together that night when it happened. In the brief moment that Qijing's father stepped out to get a meal, a high-pressure explosion occurred in the reactor vessel. Aunt Zhou had a daughter years ago, born with a congenital heart defect, who didn't live past the age of 5. After her husband's accident, Aunt Zhou completely fell apart, as if she had aged 20 years overnight. At that time, Grandpa Qi was fed up with Qijing's parents constantly nitpicking his lifestyle habits and had been thinking about moving out on his own or finding a retirement home. As soon as this happened, Grandpa Qi went ahead and rented the vacant house next door to Auntie Zhou. This way, he gained his freedom, and at the same time, he could keep an eye on Auntie Zhou. To this, Qijing's parents had nothing left to say. I was just a child back then, even knowing everything. There was only so much I could do. I clumsily tried to cook for Auntie Zhou. She smiled and patted my head, but as usual, she only ate a few bites. I tried to take her to the square to play, but she just sat in a corner, lost in thought. When I went to the bathroom at night, I could see the light from under her door and hear the restless sounds of her tossing and turning. With no other options left, I asked Grandpa Qi what to do. He let out a sigh. "There's no easy way through this, child. The blow of losing loved ones one after another is a long and heavy burden. You've already done remarkably well. The truth is, I didn't do a good enough job, because a year later, Auntie Zhou took her own life. She drank a potent pesticide, leaving no room for a second chance. When I came home from school and saw her, she was already gone." Later, Grandpa Qi rushed over, covered my eyes, and took me to his house. He then called Qijing's parents to handle the aftermath. After that, Grandpa Qi took me to the Qi family home. It took him a long time to convince Uncle and Auntie to let me stay, and just like that, I had my second home since leaving the orphanage. Qijing's unfriendly attitude made me a bit uneasy, but remembering all the nice things Grandpa Qi had said about him, I figured it was just because we weren't familiar with each other yet. I'm a good kid. Once we get to know each other, I'm sure Qijing and I will get along just fine. It turns out I was wrong. Sniffling, I sat up and found that my pillow was mostly soaked with tears. I steadied myself, offering silent words of comfort. Jeon Manu, it's okay, heaven has shown you mercy, giving you a second chance at life. You will find happiness, I'm sure of it. After steadying my thoughts, I picked up my phone to check the time. I saw that Fanny had sent a new message. The log showed he had retracted 2 messages. I wonder what he had sent. The words left behind were these: little raindrop. My house said, it makes me happy that you've come to stay. 10. I don't have many things, so packing up was a breeze. Chijing has been leaving early and coming back late these days, so we've hardly seen each other. On Saturday morning, I dragged my packed suitcase and 2 large duffel bags into the living room. Then, I went to clean the bedroom. After wiping down the nightstand, I turned around and was startled to see Chijing standing in the doorway. I noticed his gaze lingering on the now empty desk by the bed. I said quietly, I'll call a car once I'm finished packing. Did you tell my parents? Not yet. I'll call them after I finish moving today. Chijing sneered. Do you even have the money for rent? I do. Where did you get the money? Didn't my family pay for your tuition? Because I never liked socializing. I started writing online years ago and have managed to earn a bit of money here and there. I've kept a careful record of every single penny the Chi family has spent on me. I even have a separate bank account specifically for repaying the debt, planning to give it all to Chijing's parents once I've saved up enough. Not wanting to elaborate, I brushed it off vaguely. I'll pay your parents back someday. Hearing this, Chijing got angry. So you're trying to cut ties with my family already? No. I just want to make it clear where we stand. I pressed my lips together. You're my family. Always will be. Chijing suddenly fell silent. Seeing he had no intention of speaking further, I got ready to go out and rinse the cloth. As I passed by him, he spoke up. Jeon Manu, you seem like a completely different person. Because I've died once, I gave him a wry smile. Maybe God gave me a tap on the head and cleared my mind. 11. The room was just roughly tidied up. An unknown number called. Before I could even speak, a smiling voice came through the line. Little raindrop, are you all packed? I'm here to pick you up. I realized it was Fanny. Remembering that adorable WeChat message he sent earlier, I couldn't help but laugh. No need, I'll just take a cab over. But I'm already outside your complex. Now that's what I call an enthusiastic landlord. Which building and floor are you in? I'll come help you with your luggage. I thought about it. And it really would be a hassle for me to move all this stuff to the front gate by myself. Oh, that's perfect. No need to come up. Just meet me downstairs at Building 3, Unit 1. I'll be down in 10 minutes. After hanging up, I went and knocked on Chijing's slightly ajar bedroom door. Chijing, I'm heading out. Make sure you eat properly and take care of yourself. As expected, there was no reply. I took one last look around the apartment, then wheeled my luggage out the door. As the elevator doors opened and I struggled to push the large duffel bag out, the weight in my hand suddenly lightened. It was Fanny. I was stunned. I had specifically said 10 minutes because Building 3 was at the very back of our complex. Unregistered cars couldn't get in, so it should have taken him a while to walk here. He got here in the time it takes for an elevator ride. Did he run? Fanny slid the suitcase over to me, then hoisted a large duffel bag in each hand, with a smile. He tilted his head and said, let's go. Since my room's window happened to be on this side of the building, I instinctively looked up as I stepped out of the apartment entrance. To my surprise, I saw Chijing. In just a second, he looked away. Chijing, from now on, you're just my brother, I whispered in my heart. 12. Fanny arrived driving a really cool-looking pickup truck. It feels like overkill to put my little bit of luggage in such a massive trunk. He raised an eyebrow slightly. I thought girls usually had a ton of stuff, which is why I specifically borrowed a big car. Thanks. Fanny drove onto the main road, his tone cheerful. Xiaoyudi, I've noticed you're way too polite. We're friends now. No need to keep saying thank you all the time. I just smiled and said nothing. I've always lived under someone else's roof, ever since I was a child. Being polite and courteous was simply a matter of survival. Watching Fanqing and Fanny banter and roughhouse without a care in the world, I'd feel a pang of envy, but deep down, I knew that kind of thing was never meant for me. Do you like it? It was only when I heard Fanya's voice that I realized the light had turned red. Following his gaze, I glanced at the pink plush toy on the dashboard in front of the passenger seat. I had been lost in thought, and my eyes must have unconsciously settled on that splash of pink. Do I like it? Not really. It's just that I've never owned a toy of my own, so I always end up staring a little longer whenever I see one. So I gave a half-hearted comment. Pretty cute. This is my friend's car. So that was probably put there by his girlfriend. Oh, Fanny asked casually, what's your favorite color? Huh, just killing time, making small talk. Oh, a light green, I guess. It looks like it would put you in a good mood. I wasn't sure if it was my imagination, but as my words trailed off, Fanya seemed to let out a sigh of relief. The light turned green just then. Not wanting to distract him while he was driving, I fell silent. We arrived at the apartment door. His hands were full, so I keyed in the code and pushed the door open. Rounding the entryway, I stopped dead in my tracks. The room before me seemed like a completely different place from what I remembered. The floor-to-ceiling window curtains have been replaced with a linen mint green set, layered with a soft, sheer white voile curtain on the outside. The sofa slipcovers are in the same color family, accented with several throw pillows in muted Morandi tones. A plush white cashmere rug has been laid out in front of the sofa. On the coffee table, there's even a vase of fresh flowers that looks like it was just brought home. I walked into the bedroom in a daze, only to find it completely transformed as well. The bay window, once cluttered with junk, had been cleared and neatly made up. It was now covered with a thick mint green blanket and filled with plush toys whose names I didn't know. A stylish new lamp, which seemed more decorative than practical, had been added to the nightstand. Inside the room, there was also a new dressing table. Fanny spoke softly behind me. "Welcome home, little raindrop." My eyes stung with emotion. "Fanny, how did you know my favorite color?" "Just a guess." "Pretty clever, right, you, Xiaoyu." Fanching burst in, cutting off my line of questioning. She gestured proudly around the room. "I helped pick all this out for you. What do you think?" So it was Fan Cheng's idea. I felt a slight wave of relief. "Once you're settled, how about we grab a bite here?" Fan Cheng said, shaking my arm. Fanny shot her a sideways glance. "Food, food, food. Is that the only thing rattling around in that head of yours all day?" "That's me. So what? It's not like I'm eating your food," I cut in with a laugh, interrupting their bickering. "Sure, I'll treat you both to hot pot later." "Deal." Fanching tried to lean on me again, but Fanny pulled her back. "Do you have no spine?" Fanching was uncharacteristically defiant. "I'm going to hug him, and what are you going to do about it?" She turned her head. "Xiaoyu, let me tell you, MMMPH, MS." Fan couldn't finish her sentence because her brother had covered her mouth from behind. Fanny, pulling his sister towards the door, said, "Take your time, Xiaoyu, we'll be on our way." After the apartment fell quiet, I sat on the sofa, lost in thought for a long time. It was the first time someone had welcomed me into a home with such genuine and heartfelt warmth, even if it was just a rental, even if the landlord was just being hospitable. Yet, I still felt a faint, airy sense of happiness. 13. Fanny had probably hired a cleaner. The entire house was spotless. I took out my belongings, put everything in its place, and soon had it all neatly organized. After finishing the takeout, I waited until Qi Zheng's parents' usual weekend nap time was over and gave them a call. "Auntie, are you busy?" "No, not at all." "What is it?" "I just wanted to let you and Uncle know that I've found a new place and moved out." "Huh, why? Did you have a fight with Qi Zheng? Or is the place not comfortable?" "Neither, it's just that we're both adults now. It's not really appropriate for us to live alone together like this." Auntie seemed to sigh. "Alright, I understand. How much is your rent? I'll transfer it to you." No, that's not necessary," I said quickly. "I've been doing part-time work for years. I have savings. It's enough. If you run short, you have to tell me." Okay. Not long after hanging up the phone, a message from a classmate came through. "Manyu, that new drama you asked me about is now casting. There are roles perfect for you and Qijing. Go for it." Looking at the poster my classmate sent, a wave of complex emotions washed over me. In my past life, I really went to great lengths to stand side by side with Qijing. "Thanks. Could you send a copy of the recruitment info to Qijing as well?" After finishing the chat with my classmate, I began to sort through my thoughts. I have no taste for the insincere social games and empty pleasantries of the entertainment industry, nor do I have any real interest in acting itself. The path of an actor is one I will never walk again in this lifetime. I might as well pick up where I left off in my last life and return to the path of writing, which was interrupted by my acting career. Whether I'll achieve any success is uncertain, but at least I won't starve, and my spirit will be at peace, this time. I'm going to follow my heart in everything. Watching the corner of the curtain flutter in the breeze, I felt a sense of freedom and ease like never before. 14. I went out for a run first thing the next morning. I ran into Fanya in the elevator. Of all places. "What are you doing here? Why are you up so early?" We both spoke at the same time. Fanny pointed a finger upward. "I live upstairs. I thought your place was a bit small later on, so my family bought me a 2-bedroom upstairs." I was stunned for a couple of seconds. "Is this the joy of being rich?" He chuckled. "That was my old happiness. Didn't you hear Fancheng? I got kicked out of the family." "Why?" "Because I wasn't doing anything proper with my life. Being a professional boxer doesn't count as proper." In the eyes of a capitalist, any activity that can't be quickly monetized is just a waste of time. As we talked, we had already walked out of the building entrance. I gave Fanny a wave and was about to turn the corner to start my run. I hadn't even taken a step before he grabbed me by the hood of my jacket and pulled me back. His confused voice came from above my head. "What are you doing? Going for a run?" He gestured around the neighborhood path. "Right here." "Yeah." Fanny smiled as he straightened my hoodie. "Little raindrop, you're so adorable. Come on, I'll take you somewhere nice." Following Fanny around the residential complex, I was surprised to find a riverside loop park behind it. Fanny quickly went through his warm-up routine, grinning smugly. "Want a race?" "No way, you're a pro." "I'm just here for my health." "No contest." He tilted his head and raised an eyebrow. "Alright, I'll come find you later." 15 minutes later, I finally understood what he meant by "come find you." I had just passed the halfway point when Fanny, on his second lap, caught up to me. He deliberately turned his head to flash me a grin, as if the words, "pretty impressive, huh," were written across his forehead. When Fanny caught up to me for the third time, his breathing was still steady, while mine was already completely ragged. Is this what they call professional level? This time, Fanny didn't just pass me by. Instead, he turned around about a meter ahead of me and started running backwards, facing me. "Hey, Zioyuti, how'd you like my boxing?" I didn't have the energy to reply. "Come on, tell me. What did you think of my last match?" "Tisk, little raindrop, why are you ignoring me?" My fitness tracker buzzed on my wrist, signaling I'd finally hit my daily mileage goal. I came to a stop, catching my breath for a good 10 seconds before I could speak. "Fanny, what is it you're trying to say?" He kept jogging in place, not missing a beat. "I've got a provincial tournament next month. Wanna come watch?" The sun had just clocked in for the day, its hazy golden light spilling over the smile of the person before me, so bright it was almost dazzling. It must have been the sunlight playing tricks on me. That's the only reason I couldn't bring myself to say no outright. "What's the date, and where is it?" Fanny stopped in his tracks, the curve of his smile widening even more. "You're going." The anticipation on his face was so genuine that before my mind could even process it, I found myself nodding. Fanny took a sudden step toward me, his arms starting to reach out but stopping just short of my shoulders. Then, as if realizing something, he gave an embarrassed smile, hastily stepped back, and with a beaming grin, turned and resumed his run. I wasn't finished asking my question. 15. I'm drenched in sweat and completely exhausted. I went straight home for a shower. The moment I stepped out, I saw the message from Fanny. Besides the time and place, it also said, "Fanching is coming too." My last bit of hesitation vanished. I typed with a smile, okay. Although it was my body from 4 years ago, my mind carried the weight of those extra years. On top of that, my writing had already been constantly interrupted by various auditions around this time. Now that I'm starting again, I'm completely out of practice. It took me a solid 2 weeks just to barely get back into the swing of things. But at least I don't have to run around to different film sets anymore, so it's a bit more peaceful. Fanching claims she has no grand ambitions and doesn't plan on entering the entertainment industry. She's perfectly content being a small-time blogger, earning a bit of pocket money, so she has quite a bit of free time and often drops by my place when she's got nothing else going on. She's either dragging me to watch Fanya's training sessions or pulling me along to crash the team dinners at her brother's club. I become increasingly comfortable and informal with the two siblings. On a day I wasn't at school, I was really craving the pork chop rice from cafeteria too, so I texted her, "Coming by today." Instead of her usual picking me, meme, she just replied with 2 short words, "Busy." "I want the black pepper pork chop rice from cafeteria too." I added a cute cat emoji. After spending so much time with Fanching, I've even started acting cute with him online. They typed for ages, only to send back a single okay. I thought Fanching would be here any minute. But over an hour passed and there was still no sign of him. I was starving, so I picked up my phone and typed, "If you're busy, don't worry about coming, I'll just..." I hadn't even finished my sentence when the doorbell rang. I hurried over and pulled the door open. "Finally, oh, it's you." Fanny smiled and held up the bag in his hand. "Your pork chop rice." 16. I was about to speak again when the phone rang in the room. Worried it might be my major course teacher who had spoken with me this morning, I hurriedly said to Fanny, "Come on in first." Then I rushed over to the sofa. I grabbed the phone, and the name Qijing flashing on the screen made me freeze for a second. Lately, even when we run into each other at school, we barely speak. It's strange, but I have this feeling like this person faded out of my life a long time ago. I swiped to answer. Just about to say hello, Qijing's furious voice came crashing down on me. "Why didn't you show up for the audition? What? The love materialized, Set called. Why weren't you there? Oh, that's the role I had someone inquire about for me before. I don't plan on acting anymore. After a brief silence, Qijing raised his voice. Jiang Manyu, don't be stubborn. I'm not being stubborn. I've thought it through seriously. This path isn't for me, Qijing. You go on and give it your all, Jiang Manyu. If you're only going to be passionate about things for 3 minutes, then don't start anything so casually. He yelled that and then slammed the phone down. I don't get it. Shouldn't he be happy to be rid of a pest like me always bothering him? Your boyfriend? Fan Yi suddenly asked. No. I took the bag from him. Why are you the one delivering it? Then who is he? Fan Qing. I was the one who told her. I'm asking. Who was that on the phone just now? In that instant, the same predatory glint Fan Yi had when they first met flashed in his eyes again. I avoided his gaze, carrying the food over to the dining table. My brother. I didn't know you had a brother. There's a lot you don't know. Fan Yi sat down across from me and took away my lunchbox, the lid of which I had just opened. I'm leaving for training camp tomorrow. Oh, little raindrop. We won't see each other for the better part of a month. And I won't have much time to use my phone either. I didn't know how to respond, so I grabbed one side of the lunchbox and tried to pull it back. Fan Yi seemed determined to oppose me and wouldn't let go. Is that guy really your brother? Annoyed, I looked up. Fine, he was my husband in a past life. Okay, then can I be your husband in this one? A shiver ran through me as Fan Yi suddenly let go. The lunchbox swung forward with my momentum. Pork chop and I stared at each other. My heart pounding like a drum. I didn't dare look up. Fan Yi sighed and said, more to himself, when I'm not here, go for your morning run a bit later. It's not safe when it's still so dark. Whatever your work schedule is, make sure you eat your meals on time. Remember to deadbolt the door before bed. Power outages are rare in our complex, but if you're unlucky enough to get one, call Fan Qing and have her come stay with you. Don't try to tough it out if you're afraid of the dark. Seeing that I stayed silent, he stood up. I'm off. See you at the competition. The pork chop rice counter must have gotten a new chef. How else could I have tasted that hint of sweetness in the black pepper sauce that day? 17. Over the weekend, I went back to the Qi family home to visit uncle and auntie. To my surprise, Qijing was there too. I had just exchanged a few words with the auntie in the living room when I saw him emerge from the bedroom, his face flushed with an unnatural redness. Do you have a fever? He ignored me and headed straight for the kitchen. The auntie hurriedly stood up, pushing Qijing down onto the long sofa opposite me. Didn't I leave water for you on the nightstand? You're running a 39-degree fever. If you need anything, just say the word. Don't go wandering around on your own. With that, she went to the kitchen to get some water. I got the part, Qijing said, his voice hoarse. I start filming in mid-next month. Congratulations. There's a supporting female role that hasn't been cast yet. If you're interested, I don't want to. I cut him off. I'm really not going down this path anymore. Qijing was puzzled. You worked so hard before. Why give up so suddenly? I shook my head. Qijing. For me, this isn't giving up. It's a new beginning. What about me? His eyes held a complex emotion I couldn't decipher. What did you say? As I was speaking, I saw the housekeeper walking over, carrying a kettle in one hand and a fruit tray in the other. I hurried over to take them from her. When I turned back, Qijing had already stood up and was walking back to his bedroom with unsteady steps. It was only then that I suddenly realized, in my past life, the view I had of Qijing most often seemed to be the sight of his back as he walked away. 18. True to his word, Fan Yi was completely silent for the better part of a month. He only sent a sudden WeChat message the day before the competition. Are you here yet? At that time, Fan Qing and I had just checked into the hotel. After I replied to him, he went radio silent again. While riding the elevator down with Fan Qing to grab some food, I remembered the warning Fan Yi had given me earlier at my place. I nudged her shoulder. Was it you who told your brother I'm afraid of the dark? How would I know? He's the one who told me. How did he find out? Remember that dinner you hosted right after you moved? He said he figured it out then. Fan Qing shrugged. I don't know the specifics. I guess it's that so-called gaydar. What gaydar? MS. Fan leaned in conspiratorially and whispered in my ear. Little raindrop, I'm under a confidentiality agreement. Sorry about that. Then, she mimed zipping her lips shut. 19. When I arrived at the venue the next day, I realized the audience was much smaller than I had imagined. Fan Qing took it in stride. It's always been this way. In this line of work, you get very little applause or money before you reach the top. She glanced around. The turnout's actually pretty good today, considering it's the finals. Oh, so there have already been a few rounds before this. Yeah, my brother said showing you the finals would be enough. Is he really that sure he'll make it to the finals? Ah, the blind confidence of a man. I laughed at that. And Fanqing suddenly raised her phone. Hey, little raindrop, look at the camera. Not long after, I spotted Fanya's figure. He followed his coach onto the platform and began putting on his gear. My eyes were fixed on the mat. As the referee approached Fanyi for inspection, he glanced over in this direction from a distance. His lips seemed to move. Even with the mouthguard on, I could barely see a thing, yet I had this inexplicable feeling he wanted to say the same thing as the day we first met. Choose me. I felt my face grow warm. Round 1 on platform A. The match begins, announced the voice over the loudspeaker. My heart leapt into my throat. The clash of skill and strength unfolded, electrifying the crowd in the arena. Amidst their relentless cheers, I realized the size of the crowd didn't matter. Passion itself is its own applause. Round 1 on Channel A has concluded. 3 minutes are up. According to the results from the 5 judges on the big screen, Fanyi is currently in the lead. I shifted my gaze back to the stage, where Fanya was listening intently to the coach. The 1-minute rest period is over. The announcement came over the loudspeaker. Round 2 on platform A. Begin. I couldn't understand many of the referee's professional signals, but judging by the discussions around me and the scoring after each round, Fanyi and his opponent were quite evenly matched. At the end of the 7th round, I heard a man behind me state with certainty, Fanyi from Province B has won. After all 8 rounds were completed, I found myself sitting up straight without even realizing it. The referee stepped between the 2 fighters, taking hold of a wrist from each. The stands were some distance from the ring, so I kept my phone raised, zooming in with the camera to catch the details on the screen. The moment the referee raised Fanya's hand, he suddenly turned his head and looked over, mouthing the words with a silent laugh, another win. At that moment, the question he had asked me at my place earlier wormed its way back into my mind. My heart skipped a beat. 20. I practically threw my phone down in a panic. Fanqing just had to add fuel to the fire. Hey, Xiaoyu, why's your face all red from watching a boxing match? My phone buzzed, and I frantically opened it to check the message. It was from Qijing, a baffling message. Where are you? Out of town. So your new landlord is Fanqing's brother. What's your relationship with him? The question threw me off. Remembering how Fanqing had been snapping away with her phone, I backed out of the chat and checked my social feed. Sure enough, Fan had posted several updates. There was even a short video. Caption, Xiao Yudi cheering for Fighter Yi. Another day of being absolutely wrecked by how hot my brother is. The video shows me holding up my phone like a total creep, constantly zooming in on the boxing ring. Then the scene cuts to Fanyi looking over this way with a bright smile. Fanqing poked my unconsciously upturned lips. Look at you, grinning like a fool. A new message from Qijing popped up. Your birthday's coming up. Any ideas on how you want to celebrate? Your birthday is coming up soon. Fanqing noticed the notification too. Yeah, I replied absent-mindedly. For so many years before, even during the years of marriage and what felt like a past life, I always went against my own wishes and said I don't want to celebrate to avoid troubling the Qi family. Upon hearing that, Qijing and his parents would drop the subject. Only when Grandpa Qi was still around would the old man stubbornly insist on taking me out for a meal, earnestly making me make a wish over a birthday cake. Qijing has never celebrated my birthday for me, so, sticking to my previous line, I replied, I don't want to celebrate it. Qijing was uncharacteristically insistent. No, you have to. Come to the usual spot on your birthday. If you don't show up, I'm not leaving. After that, no matter what I sent, Qijing never replied. 21. Fanqing went to the restroom, so I waited for her and Fanyi on the sidewalk outside the venue. Suddenly, I felt a weight on my neck. Looking down, I saw a gleaming gold medal. Fanyi came around from behind me. Long time no see, little raindrop. It really does feel like it's been ages. I smiled and tried to take the medal off, but Fanyi grabbed my wrist. It's for you. Why are you giving this to me? Here's your reward. I couldn't help but find it amusing. But I didn't do anything. You just being here is enough. Thump, thump, thump. Whose heart is racing out of control? In the heavy silence, I didn't even dare to lift my head. Bro, Fanqing, rushing over, came to my rescue. She linked her arm with mine, turning to Fanyi and saying, Xiaoyu's birthday is coming up. Let's throw her a party. Fanyi pulled her aside, stepped between us, and looked down to ask me, next week, right? Do you think the party will be too loud for you? It would have bothered me before, but now, I find myself looking forward to the liveliness they bring. I looked up and smiled at him. I'm willing to give it a try. Fanye's gaze in return was direct and intense. He leaned in slightly, lowering his voice. I have something to tell you then. I'm not blind or deaf. Help, Fanqing cried out from the side. 22. When my birthday finally arrived, I found the festivities were far more lively than I had ever imagined, because the venue was Fanya's club, and the guest list, everyone, baffled. I pointed at the multi-layered stack of gift boxes in the corner and asked Fan Qing, "Are those decorations?" "Those are gifts from everyone for you. We're not even that close. It doesn't feel right to accept them." Fan Qing laughed. "Silly, this is the first time my brother has ever made such a grand gesture for a girl. They're all his close friends. They sent these because they know how much he values you." She pulled me inside. "Relax, the gifts aren't expensive. They'll just give you a glimpse into the wonderfully weird minds of clueless guys. The birthday person is here. Come on, come on, where's the cake? Is it ready?" The noise was a chaotic mess. Yet it wasn't the least bit annoying. Fan Yu put down the drinks he was organizing and walked over. "Don't worry, it's nothing formal, just make a wish, and then we'll all have a meal together." "Okay." My attention was caught by the winding, twisty wall decals beside me, so I didn't answer right away. Fan Yu spoke again, his voice tinged with nervousness. "I just wanted them to meet you. If you're not comfortable, we can leave right now." "No, it's great," I said with a laugh. Pointing at the wall, "I just wanted to say your handiwork is really unique." Fan Yu let out a breath and, pretending to be casual, took me by the wrist to lead me toward the dining table. He was nervous, his palms were already sweaty from just those few steps. "Come on, let's get the birthday hat on." An older guy eagerly handed it over and went to open the cake box. But he moved too fast and smudged a big chunk of frosting off one corner. "Whoa, Lowly, you must be starving. Sorry about that." "Sis," the guy said with a crestfallen look. My nerves, which had been a little on edge just moments before, completely melted away. I waved my hand with a smile and said, "No worries, it's still perfectly edible. Come on, let's put the candles in." Amidst a rendition of Happy Birthday that somehow sounded like a revolutionary anthem, I made my first birthday wish of this new chapter in my life. In the middle of the lively dinner, my phone on the table suddenly lit up with several notifications in quick succession. I tapped to open it. It was from Qi Jing. 2 hours earlier, he had sent me a photo of the abandoned gates of our old middle school. I ignored him, thinking he'd leave eventually if no one showed up. But the next one was another photo, this time a downward shot from the rooftop. "Jiang Manyu, I had a dream last night. I dreamt I did many terrible things to you. If I jumped from here, would it atone for my sins?" My hand trembled, spilling the juice. Fan Yu was sitting right next to me. Seeing the words on the screen, he grabbed a tissue and wiped the juice splashed on my skirt. "I'll take you there." Even after calling the police, my mind was still in turmoil. What if something really happened to Qi Jing? His parents couldn't withstand a blow like that. It would drive them mad, no matter how Qi Jing treated me. The Qi family were the ones who raised me with care and kindness. I owe them a debt of gratitude. Nothing can happen because of me. 23. In my panic, the hand resting on my lap was taken in his. Fan Yu said softly, "Don't worry. The police respond very quickly in these situations. Everything will be fine." He pressed my thumb. "You pick at your fingers when you're scared, huh?" I had no idea. That time after Hot Pot, when we went downstairs to walk it off, the elevator took forever, so the three of us decided to take the stairs. The motion sensor light went out once, and your stomp wasn't hard enough to turn it back on. You got all flustered. When the light finally came on, you were doing exactly what you're doing now. Digging your thumb hard into your index finger. That's how I knew you were afraid of the dark. I stared at my own hand. So that's why he spent the rest of that walk belting out that off-key song. I thought at the time he was just trying to be funny. That interruption actually helped ease my nerves a bit. Fan Yu drove fast. By the time we arrived, the safety airbags had already been laid out downstairs. I ran up to a police officer and said, "Hello, I'm his sister. What's the situation?" The individual is in a highly agitated state and is specifically asking to see someone named Jiang Manyu. "You need to contact the family immediately." "I am Jiang Manyu." "Then get up there, now," the other person urged while walking quickly. "Your main job is to calm him down. Try to get him to step back from the edge of the roof so we can mount a rescue. This school has been abandoned for a long time. There are a lot of hazards. You need to be careful too." As he spoke, he turned to look at Fan Yu. "And who are you?" Fan Yu pointed at me. "Her family." "Oh, in that case, you should stay out of sight too. The person in distress only wants to see Jiang Manyu." "Alright." Fan Yu followed in silence. 24. As I approached Qi Jing from behind with a flashlight in hand, he seemed to sense my presence. "You're here, Qi Jing. Come down first." "Jiang Manyu, last night I dreamed we got married, and I finally made it big, but because I was angry with you on set, someone took it upon themselves to tie you up overnight. Then you went missing. The police investigation concluded that you fell off a cliff." My throat felt dry. "It was just a dream." "Oh, really? Then why did you change so suddenly? How can you just decide you don't like me anymore? You find me so annoying." shouldn't you be happy to be rid of my pestering? Exactly. Qijing suddenly turned around, visibly agitated. I thought I should be happy. I've been annoyed by you since we were kids. My parents barely paid me any attention. I thought they were just dedicated to their careers, but after you came to our house, everything changed. They started actually caring about a child, and Grandpa, who used to love me the most, suddenly only had eyes for you. Every single day, even on his deathbed, his last wish was to entrust your future to me. Jiang Manyu, there are two things I despise most in this world. First, when someone takes what's rightfully mine. Second, when someone forces me to do something, and you've managed to do both. How could I not hate you? I watched Qijing's menacing steps and didn't dare to respond. After a silence that lasted more than 10 seconds, he suddenly let out a self-deprecating laugh. But why did it hurt so much when you said you wouldn't marry me? When I saw your photo in Fan Cheng's social media post the other day, it hit me. I don't think I've ever seen you smile like that when you're with me, Jiang Manyu. Have you been unhappy all these years living with my family? I shook my head. You gave me a place to call home. Your parents have been nothing but kind to me. And your grandfather. I don't even know where to begin. That's not what I asked. I'm asking if you are happy, Qijing. Someone like me has no right to dwell on feelings. Being able to go to school smoothly and grow up safely is already a stroke of luck. Qijing was silent for a few seconds, then rubbed his face in frustration. Looking around, do you remember this place? I remember. You'd often come here to read and forget to eat. I'd come up to bring you food when it was time. He shook his head. I didn't really forget the time, I just looked forward to the moment you'd push the door open every day. It's a pity that back then, my foolish pride got the better of me. Jiang Manyu. Qijing finally jumped down from the edge of the rooftop and ran over, gripping my shoulders. Can we start over? I'll cherish you properly. I'll make it up to you, brother. I cut him off. Qijing shuddered at my address. He's a few months older than me, but ever since we were kids, no matter what anyone said, I never called him brother. Because I had ulterior motives. I looked straight into his eyes. You believe in that dream, don't you? In the dream, you already ruined one lifetime for me. Do you have to ruin this one too, brother? Qijing froze completely. A look of intense anguish and confusion flashed in his eyes before he released me, staggered back a few steps, and collapsed onto the floor. The police officers who had been gathered behind Qijing rushed over to help him up. Qijing looked up, his lips moving soundlessly for a long moment. In the end, he said nothing, his expression numb as he let himself be led away by the others. I looked at the spot where Qijing had been standing. There sat a cake, its original shape now unrecognizable, with candles that had clearly been burned. I don't know why, but the calm I'd maintained since my rebirth suddenly shattered. All the grievances from my past life welled up in my heart at that moment, and I crouched on the ground and wept. Someone came over to ask something, but they seemed to be sent away. A large coat was draped over my head, shielding me from the world, and I cried all the more freely. Finally, I cried myself out, sniffling. I whispered, Fanny, my leg's asleep. The person next to me bent down to pull me up. I'd been squatting for too long and couldn't stand steady, stumbling right into his arms. Fanny chuckled, little raindrop, up to no good. I immediately wrapped my arms around his waist and nuzzled my head against his chin. Now this, player fan, is what you call up to no good. The next second, Fanny answered my smugness with action. He pinched my chin, tilting my face up and down as he studied it. How rare, even with eyes swollen from crying. You're still so captivating, you. My protest was cut off by a searing kiss. Just as I was about to run out of breath, Fanny finally released me. He glanced around and laughed. Damn, you really can't plan anything. The scene I had in mind was way more romantic than this. Fanny leaned his forehead against mine. Little raindrop, I like you. Will you be my girlfriend? I pulled back, lowering my gaze. Fanny, I'm an orphan. The birthday you celebrated for me today isn't my real birth date. It's just the day I was admitted to the orphanage. Later, I was adopted. Fanny gently stroked the back of my hand, listening in silence to the story of my early life. I finished speaking, not daring to look up, terrified I'd see pity in his eyes. Jiang Manyu. He hooked a finger under my chin, tilting my face up. How are you so utterly charming? Your voice is so lovely too. Maybe you could even do a podcast someday. In those eyes, there was only an overflowing, unmistakable love. I wrapped my arms around him again. Fanny, let's be together. 25. The consequence of staying out on the rooftop late at night was that I successfully caught a cold. Fanny had just finished his competition and had plenty of time off. So under the guise of taking care of the patient, he started coming over to my place every day. Now I'm pretty much recovered, but he's still hanging around, refusing to leave. While he was cooking, Fanqing had already spilled all the tea to me on WeChat. She said her brother had been scheming for a long time, constantly trying to bribe her with money to get information about me. I replied, "Your revolutionary resolve isn't very strong, is it? But it's money," declared Fanqing. The righteous rich second-generation heiress. My phone was suddenly snatched away. Fanny glanced at it and said, "Stop talking to idiots. Is that any way to talk about your sister?" I took a sip of the porridge he was feeding me, leaned in closer, and asked, "You're not falling for me at first sight, are you?" Fanny offered another spoonful and simply replied, "Yeah, it was just a joke, but now I'm genuinely shocked. What was it about me at the boxing gym that caught your eye?" Fanny raised an eyebrow. "Who told you it was that day? Then when was it?" "I'm not telling you." I leaned in and kissed him. "Can you tell me now?" Fanny put down his bowl, cupped the back of my head, and kissed me back. After we parted, he leaned close to my ear and whispered, "No, figure it out yourself." Before I could say another word, he tapped his wristwatch. "Get changed. We're heading out, this time." Standing before Grandpa Chi's grave felt different from my last life. There really wasn't any hardship left to speak of. Fanny was waiting for me by the staircase not far away. I glanced at him and then chattered away to Grandpa, telling him all sorts of things. I talked about Fanny, about Fanqing, about my new book, about how completely different my life was now compared to my last one. After rambling on for over an hour, I said softly, "Grandpa, that's all for today. I'll come back and chat with you again soon." I ran up to Fanya. "Let's go." He ruffled my hair. Just a moment, then he walked straight over to Grandpa's headstone, murmured something, and came right back. On the way back, I swung his hand. "What did you say to Grandpa?" "Classified." "So, when exactly was it that you fell in love at first sight?" "I'm not telling you, Fanya. Too many secrets aren't good for a close relationship. How about you try to cheer me up? If I'm in a better mood, I might just tell you." "How should I do that?" Fanny leaned close to my ear. And with a single sentence, he made my cheeks burn bright red. I threw off his hand and hurried down the stairs, getting shy already. "Come on, little raindrop. You're not cut out for this." Fanny. Side story. Every time I see Love at First Sight on TV, I can't help but scoff. Let's call it what it is. Being drawn to someone's looks. Why dress it up with fancy words? Until I met her. It was during that brutal heatwave last summer when Fanqing called and asked me to bring something to her at the university. My car wasn't registered, so I couldn't drive onto campus. The damn heat was suffocating, and the whole walk to her department, I was cursing that girl out in my head. Suddenly, a splash of color caught my eye. Right across the way, at the corner, stood a girl. She wore a mint green shirt dress, her hair in a high ponytail. One hand was raised to shield her eyes from the sun, the other cradled a transparent box. She kept glancing down at whatever was inside with this goofy smile. It just looked like some ordinary craft project. Was it really that fascinating? I could find my way there blindfolded, but that day, I somehow ended up right in front of her. "Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the Performing Arts Department office?" When she turned, the smile hadn't left her lips, and she was positively glowing. "Just keep going straight, then take a right up ahead and you'll see it." "Thanks," could I add? She saw someone over my shoulder and quickly waved her hand. "No need to thank me." I stood there, watching her skip joyfully towards a man and hand over what she was holding as if it were a treasure. So, she has a boyfriend, damn it. My first love is over before it even began. Later, when I got home, I did something crazy. I changed the door code to that day's date. I thought that was the end of the story between her and me. This year, my parents started nagging me again about studying management. I refused, and they threatened to kick me out of the house. Fanqing joined in with the teasing, so I confiscated her game console. She was so mad at me that she actually posted my little apartment on her social media, saying it was for rent. I couldn't be bothered to deal with her. "That's my damn place, and I'm not renting it to anyone. Touch it, and you'll get hurt." When I saw her at the club, my blood started boiling. What did Fanqing say? She wants to rent the place. My dump of a place is actually good for something. Rent it out now. During that friendly match, I showed off every trick in the book. Wonder if she even noticed. Hearing Fanqing call her Xiaoyu, I remembered that first glimpse of pale green. It suddenly struck me. She's like a summer raindrop. So refreshing, it makes your heart flutter and brings a smile to your face just seeing her. Since fate has brought us together a second time, I can't let this chance slip away. Pulling Fanqing aside, he asked, "What's her name?" "Xiaoyu." "Oh, her full name is Jiang Manyu. Does she have a boyfriend?" Fanqing looked suspicious. "What are you up to?" I was quick on the uptake. "She wants to rent my place. What if she's always bringing random people over? I need to get this straight." "Oh. No, not exactly, let's just say she has a crush on someone, the kind everyone in our whole dorm building knows about, Fanching explained. She used to live with that guy, but now she's moving out on her own. I guess things didn't work out between them. How could they live together if they weren't even a couple? It's complicated between them. In a few words, Fanching gave me the gist of the situation between Xiaoyudi and that guy. She something. I took out my phone and transferred 5,000 to Fanching via WeChat. Let's go check out the apartment later. Stop the chatter. Got it. Fanching bounced a little. Bro, you're not broke yet, huh? With all the investments I have, I'm set for years. Xiaoyudi was really eager to sign the contract. Could she be into me? So, I tentatively sent her the door code, after waiting for what felt like ages. Her first reply was actually asking if she could change it. Of course she should change it. A girl moving in needs to set a code only she knows to feel safe. I typed and deleted my message over and over, finally managing to send. Don't you remember me? Better unsend that. If she really has no memory of it at all, I'd be so embarrassed. Then I typed again. Last summer was pretty hot. Huh. Do you remember a handsome guy asking you for directions on July 12th? Unsent again. This feels so stupid. After all that back and forth, I let out a sigh, typing. Little raindrop, my house says it's thrilled you're coming to stay. I'm really happy too. After sending the message, I couldn't sleep, so I went downstairs and started cleaning. Even though the house gets cleaned regularly, I was worried something might not be perfect, afraid it would ruin my image when little raindrop moves in. For the first time in my life, I cleaned an entire house all by myself. The next day, I dragged Fanching to the home furnishing store to help me pick out a vanity and a rug. When choosing curtain fabric, Fanching pointed to a bright yellow swatch. This color is nice, let's go with this. I pulled over a mint green sample instead. This one, she'll like this one. Bro, something's off with you. Dummy, your brother is trying to woo someone. No way, did I just snag myself a sister-in-law? She chattered excitedly. Are you going to confess? When? Take it slow. Don't scare your future sister-in-law, I said gently. Fanching covered her mouth. You scared me, bro. Little raindrop and that girl Fanching unexpectedly hit it off and grew closer and closer. One time, when I was dragged back home for a scolding again, a new notification popped up on Fanching's phone on the table. Glancing over, I saw it was from Little Raindrop. Coming over today, what a question. If my little sister were a guy, I'd seriously suspect Xiaoyudi was seeing someone behind my back. I'm not jealous at all. I texted back, what's up? I want the black pepper pork chop rice from cafeteria too, sent with a cat emoji. Damn, that's so cute. I typed out of habit. How come you've never acted cute for me? A second before sending it, I realized it was Fanching's phone. I quickly deleted it and just replied with an okay. Yeah, I'm not jealous. Not at all. I cut my mom off mid-scolding. I'm about to go win you a daughter-in-law right now. Do you want to keep talking? Am I getting a daughter-in-law? I dug out a photo I had sneakily taken a few days ago. My mom's eyes lit up just as I expected. She's so lovely. Go on. If you don't win her back, don't you dare come home. It took a while because my parents live quite far from her school. No matter how much I'm drawn to Xiaoyudi, I want to take it slow. Afraid of scaring her off, but that day, hearing her on the phone with that Chi guy or whatever, I still panicked. Fanching said Xiaoyudi has liked that guy for years, so, can I be yours for the rest of your life? I was more nervous than she was after asking that question, but saying it out loud was a bit of a relief. I just like her, and I'm set on her. If she needs more time, I'll keep waiting. It's fine, what can I say? I'm the one who likes her. The moment I truly felt Xiaoyudi might have feelings for me too was outside the stadium on the day of the provincial competition. She was so shy her ears turned red, but the corners of her eyes were smiling. I thought of that birth date on her ID card. Her birthday is next week. It's time to confess my feelings. Unbelievable. That damn Chi is causing trouble again. I was standing just inside the rooftop door when Xiaoyudi was talking to that Jinx Chi, and I heard every word clearly. Someone like me has no right to dwell on my own feelings. Being able to go to school smoothly and grow up safely is already a stroke of luck. Hearing that, for the first time in my life, I felt like crying. Later, Xiaoyudi told me her story, word by word, and the more I listened, the more I thought, this girl is truly amazing. She doesn't need pity, she deserves the best love this world has to offer. At the cemetery, I made a special trip to say thank you to old Mr. Chi. Thank you for being a part of Xiaoyudi's sparse childhood. Thank you for giving Xiaoyudi that unique, tender care. Chi Wei-yang. Side story. When Zhou Xuantao brought that little girl home, I was happy. In life, a person needs either something to look forward to, or someone to hold them back. With such a fresh-faced young girl by his side, Zhou Xuantao always had a chance to pull himself together. Little Jiang was unbelievably well-behaved, always greeting people with a wide, beaming smile. She never made demands, and she never cried or threw a tantrum, burning up with a fever. She still got up to make milk and biscuits, brought them to Zhou Xuantao, and urged her to eat a little something. Wearing new clothes that were clearly several sizes too big, she happily praised Auntie Zhou for her excellent taste. Once, when I took her out for fried chicken, she studied the menu for a long time and only ordered fries. Her reason was, "Grandpa, if I get this, my pocket money will be enough to pay you back later." When Zhou Xuantao died right in front of Zhang's eyes, I was worried she'd be traumatized, so I specifically contacted a doctor. After the first session, the girl came out and took my hand. "Grandpa, don't worry about me, I'll live a good life. We don't need to see any more doctors. They charge so much money. What we spent this time, I'll work hard and pay you back when I'm older." My heart just melted. She was so young. Yet she seemed to understand everything. When I first brought her back to the Chi family, my son and daughter-in-law were against it. It wasn't for any bad reason, it's just that she wasn't some stray cat or dog. She was a young girl, not something you can just decide to take in on a whim. But if we don't take her in, what will happen to little Jiang? Send her back to the orphanage? If it really came to that, I could never rest in peace. Later, my son and daughter-in-law finally relented. They felt sorry for the girl and treated her quite well. My health held up, too, and I managed to live long enough to see the kids through college. Everyone knew Jiang Yadu had feelings for Qijing. Truth be told, that lad Qijing liked her too, but he was just too stubborn to admit it to himself. Right before I breathed my last, I meddled one final time, insisting they promise to marry and look after each other. Little did I know, I was wrong. During my years working in the underworld, Yada would visit my grave every so often to talk. It was fine at first, but later, she would end up in tears every single time. In all the years I was alive, I could count on one hand the times I saw her cry. I never imagined her life would turn out so poorly after marrying Qijing. Every expense for that girl Jiang, from childhood on, came from my pension. She owes no one a thing and shouldn't have to suffer like this. I was just about to send Qijing a message in his dreams. Right at the gates of the underworld, I saw the figure of little Jiang. I rubbed my eyes, afraid my old eyes were playing tricks on me. The next moment, I couldn't help but tear up. It was little Jiang, but for some reason, her very soul was shattered. I asked a colleague to look into it, and only then did I learn what she had gone through that night, at the cost of my soul scattering to the winds, never to enter the cycle of rebirth. I sent Miss Jiang back 4 years in time. "My child, from now on, your old grandpa won't be able to hear the words you whisper at my headstone. This time, you must find your happiness." Story 2. I was reborn on the day I was supposed to donate a kidney to the wealthy man. My younger sister yanked me off the operating table, shouting, "Sis can't donate, I'll do it instead." Then I realized, my sister had been reborn too, in my past life. I married the wealthy man who survived thanks to my kidney, becoming a pampered socialite. My jealous sister, bitter about her miserable life, pushed me off a skyscraper. This time, as my sister lay triumphantly on the operating table, she sneered, "Sis, now it's my turn to marry Zhou Ting and become the young mistress of the wealthy family." I smirked coldly. She never knew my greatest regret last lifetime was marrying Zhou Ting, that psychologically twisted monster. 1. Don't move. Didn't you agree to trade a kidney for $1 million? Too late for regrets now. I woke up lying on an operating table. The private doctor's icy voice came from above me. I suddenly realized I'd been reborn. Back to the day my family forced me to donate a kidney. The anesthesia had taken effect, leaving me too weak to resist. The cold scalpel slowly glided across my skin. Just as I lost all hope, my younger sister burst into the room. She dragged me off the operating table and took my place. "If my sister can't donate, I will." I froze. This plot twist wasn't in my last life script, too. My little sister's dream is to marry into money. In our past lives, she schemed to study abroad with her trust fund boyfriend. Terrified some foreign floozy would steal him away, she conspired with her doting parents to stage an elaborate charade, coercing me into donating a kidney to Zhou Ting in exchange for $1 million. Later, I married Zhou Ting and became a wealthy socialite, but that silver spoon heir never married my sister. He kept her as his mistress instead, at champagne-filled galas. As the lady of the house, I basked in the spotlight like the moon surrounded by stars. My sister was being beaten up by the rich heir's wife. "Who do you think you are? Some kind of socialite? How dare you show your face at this kind of party? Get lost. If I ever see you in a place like this again, I'll beat you every single time." Through the crowd, my sister glared at me with burning envy. After the banquet, my disheveled sister confronted me. Bitter resentment dripped from her voice. Zhao Shui, I'm prettier and sweeter tongued than you, clearly more suited to be a wealthy matriarch, just bad luck. I thought Zhou Ting, that doomed wretch, wouldn't last long, so I passed him over. Her eyes flicked to my flat stomach. I'm more fertile too, if not four. As if recalling something unpleasant, she hissed through gritted teeth, in short, you barren hen aren't fit to be the Zhou family's young mistress. Blinded by resentment, she pushed me off the high-rise building. Instinctively, I grabbed her dress, dragging her down with me in death. 3. My parents rushed into the operating room shortly after. They coaxed, Jiao, don't be willful. Donating a kidney would harm your health. Let your sister do it instead. I curled my lips bitterly. These were my parents, though we're both their daughters. They couldn't bear to see Jiao suffer the slightest harm, yet wouldn't spare a thought for my life. To fund her study abroad, my mother even lied about me being ill, pressuring me to sell my kidney for her treatment. Jiao refused to back down. It's fine, I've done my research. People have 2 kidneys. Losing one won't affect your health much. You just can't do heavy labor. Your daughter was born to live comfortably anyway. She won't need to lift a finger. But, Jiao cut them off impatiently. No buts, Mom and Dad. The Zhous are a powerful family. If they take my kidney, they'll owe me. Whenever our family needs help in the future, all I have to do is ask. They'll have to return the favor. She shot me a glance. Zhao Shui has no conscience like I do. Mom, don't you remember, when you said you were seriously ill and needed money for chemo? She still made excuses instead of donating a kidney for that million yuan. If she ever makes it big someday, you really think she'll remember you? I sneered. Did they really not understand why I kept making excuses? Since childhood, my parents always favored Jiao while treating me with nothing but scolding and beatings. In my view, since Jiao reaped all the maternal love, if our mother truly needed money from selling a kidney, it shouldn't have fallen on me to donate. Clearly, they thought differently. They brought in journalists to expose me, hung banners at my school, and branded me an ungrateful wretch who cared nothing for my mother's life. The public shaming left me no choice but to give up that kidney. Mom and Dad always listened to my sister. Jiao, are you absolutely sure about this? Jiao nodded, and just like that, Jiao got her wish, lying on the operating table. Before I left, she smirked triumphantly and said loud enough for me to hear, Sister, this time it's my turn to marry Zhou Ting and become the young mistress of a wealthy family. The moment I heard those words, everything became crystal clear. It wasn't just me who got a second chance. Jiao did too. Little did Jiao know, being the young mistress of the Zhou family came with its own nightmares. Zhou Ting only married me to use me as a walking organ bank. Years of illness had taken a toll on his mental health as well. To outsiders, he appeared as a gentle and refined gentleman, but in truth, he was a sadist who envied my healthy body and tormented me in every way possible. I smiled as the operating room door slowly closed. Now it's your turn, dear sister. 4. I returned to school and devoted all my energy to studying, making up for the regret from my past life where kidney donation and subsequent wound infection disrupted my senior year preparation, causing me to miss out on a top university. My school life became busy yet fulfilling. Things weren't going so smoothly for Jiao. She followed the same painful path I once walked, tormented by wound infections, suffering unbearable pain with recurring high fevers. My parents were so frantic they took extended leave from work just to care for her. When I had the same infected wound in my past life, I never received such royal treatment. After pocketing the million from the Zhous, my parents abandoned me at the hospital without a second thought. Even when doctors warned them about my critical condition, they never visited, just cursed me for being a burden and left me to rot in that hospital bed. In the end, it was Zhou Ting's parents who hired a caregiver for me, probably only because I still had some use to them. Sometimes I seriously wonder if I'm even their biological child. During Jiao's hospitalization, my parents had me deliver some clean clothes to them, which was the only time I saw them. My parents had lost significant weight, with dark circles under their eyes. Clearly, being caregivers had taken its toll. Jiao looked utterly drained, a far cry from her usual vibrant self. That's what losing a kidney does. They say it won't affect your health, but you'll feel significantly weaker. In my past life, I'd be panting after just 5 flights of stairs, and even lifting light objects felt exhausting. Now I can run 3 laps around the track without breaking a sweat. Zhao Shui, you must be thrilled to see me suffering, aren't you? Jiao said with relish. Life's bitterness always precedes its sweetness. Let me tell you, during my hospital stay, I confessed to Zhou Ting, and he accepted. My golden days are yet to come. I froze, never expecting them to get entangled so quickly. Jiao added, you must be drowning in regret now. Too late, good riddance. Those two troublemakers deserve each other. At least they'll stay out of my hair now. A month before the college entrance exams, Zhao Jiajiao returned to school arm in arm with Zhou Ting, their intimacy on full display. Zhou Ting even transferred to our class just for her. When Zhao Jiajiao spotted me, she clung tighter to Zhou Ting's arm as if I might snatch him away. Her voice dripped with apprehension and disgust. What awful luck, Zhou Ting asked her. Jiajiao, what's wrong? Zhao Jiajiao shot me a glance, the corners of her lips curling slightly. Immediately, I had a bad feeling about this. 5. Zhao Jiajiao tattled to Zhou Ting. Zhou Ting, you don't know this, but originally it was supposed to be your sister who donated her kidney to you. She chickened out on the operating table at the last minute. I stepped up without hesitation and gave you my kidney instead. If it weren't for me, you'd still be lying in that hospital bed right now. Zhou Ting had been sickly since childhood, with several near-death experiences where doctors barely managed to pull him back from the brink. His hatred for those who jeopardized his health ran bone deep. He violently kicked over my desk, snarling with malice. These days, any worthless trash thinks they can waltz into our school. When the Zhou family's sole heir flew into a rage, not a single soul dared speak up in my defense. After all, his family donated several academic buildings to the school. Even the principal speaks to him with deference. One bespectacled guy in class was practically stirring the pot. If I recall correctly, Zhao Shue's mother is critically ill and desperately needs that million from her kidney sale. Now that she's run off, her mom's lifeline is gone. What an ungrateful wretch. Shouldn't trash like her be kicked out of our class? The moment he finished speaking, the other students' gazes toward me grew noticeably more contemptuous. The bespectacled guy shot me a glance, his eyes brimming with malice. He might not have been the worst person I encountered in my past life, but Chen Wang was hands down the most repulsive classmate. Being short and scrawny, he'd been bullied multiple times by the class troublemakers. Once when I helped him out, he mistook it for romantic interest and publicly confessed to me. I politely turned him down. From that moment on, he held a grudge against me. Back when I refused to sell my kidney for money, my mother faked an illness and caused a scene at my school. Chen Wang took photos of the incident, posted them on the school forum and other social media platforms, spreading malicious rumors to smear my reputation. The online harassment and constant pointing fingers at school eventually forced me to donate the kidney. Later, when I married Zhou Ting and started what he considered a good life, he still wouldn't let me go. Chen Wang somehow got hold of Zhou Ting's phone number and sent him AI-generated fake photos, accusing me of being unfaithful. What greeted me was yet another brutal beating from Zhou Ting. After that incident, I had someone investigate and found out Chen Wang was the one who framed me. Everyone around him says he's a decent, down-to-earth guy, not exceptional, but reliable and kind-hearted. He has a steady, ordinary job and a fiancée he's planning to marry. In truth, he was like a sewer rat, secretly taking upskirt photos of women in various settings and spreading malicious rumors about accomplished females through anonymous accounts, driving some victims into depression. I compiled all his disgusting actions and perverted remarks into a dossier and sent it to everyone in his social circle. Later I heard he lost his job, his engagement fell through, even got embroiled in lawsuits, becoming literal vermin that everyone wanted to stomp on. Now there's Chen Wang, still young but equally repulsive. He's been covertly taking upskirt photos of female classmates with his phone, including Zhao Jiajiao. I've been so busy with studies lately that I completely forgot about this matter. Now that he's acting up again, all those disgusting things he did came flooding back to my mind. While Chen Wang was fanning the flames and trying to get Zhou Ting to teach me a lesson, I'd already quietly made my way to his desk and taken his phone. Chen Wang's face darkened. Zhao Shui, don't you dare touch my phone. It was already too late. How come your album is full of upskirt photos of girls, and you even have my sister's pictures? I gasped. Chen Wang, my sister is Zhou Ting's girlfriend. How dare you set your sights on her? Chen Wang's face instantly turned ashen. The classmates stared at him in shock. Holy shit, Chen Wang always seemed so decent. How could he do something like this? How disgusting. Chen Wang should be the one kicked out of our class. This needs to be exposed. Let everyone see his revolting true colors. Chen Wang broke into a cold sweat and sobbed in terror. Please don't do this. If it gets out, everyone will crucify me. My life will be over. See, even Chen Wang understands how terrifying public opinion can be. He never understood the pain until the rod struck his own back. The bullet he once fired at me eventually found its way back to his own skull. Just as I predicted, Zhou Ting greeted him with fists falling like hailstones. Zhou Ting was inherently arrogant, looking down on everyone with an insatiable need for control. He never treated Zhao Jiajiao as an equal. She was just his property, and nothing infuriated him more than others coveting what was his. Chen Wang secretly took intimate photos of Zhao Zhao Jiao. No wonder Zhou Ting beat him up. Chen Wang didn't dare fight back, just took the beating while begging for mercy. Watching this unfold, Zhao Zhao Jiao smiled sweetly and said to me, "See that? Zhou Ting's fighting for me. Men look so hot when they throw punches. Handsome. This is clearly emotional instability. If Zhou Ting could hit Chen Wang on a whim today, he could just as easily turn on her tomorrow." The fight only ended when Zhou Ting was too exhausted to continue. Zhao Zhao Jiao quickly handed Zhou Ting a towel. "You must be tired. Here, wipe your sweat." Zhou Ting wiped the sweat off, his sinister gaze settling on me. "Now, it's your turn." I hadn't expected Zhou Ting to hold such a grudge, still remembering Zhao Jiao's recent slander against me. Facing his violent stare, I remained surprisingly calm inside. After all, the tactic of redirecting trouble to others is something I've used before, and can use again. I shot a glance at the smug Zhao Jiao and calmly stated, "Let me clarify something. My mother is perfectly healthy, she's not ill at all. They faked her illness to pressure me into selling my kidney. That million yuan was meant to fund Zhao Jiao's study abroad, so she could join her trust fund boyfriend overseas." Zhou Ting indeed lost the energy to target me. His expression darkened as he turned to Zhao Jiao. "Jiao Jiao, care to explain?" 6. Panic flashed across Zhao Jiao's face. Her wealthy boyfriend attended an elite private school, and apart from me, no one knew about their relationship. After getting together with Zhou Ting, Zhao Jiao broke up with her wealthy boyfriend, but the guy couldn't handle being dumped. His pride was wounded, and he kept harassing her. She knew perfectly well that while Zhou Ting was easygoing, he'd never tolerate her toying with his feelings. Digging her nails into her palm, Zhao Jiao quickly regained composure. "Zhou Ting, I don't have a boyfriend. I donated my kidney because I like you. Don't listen to her nonsense." She paused before continuing. "As for my mother, she wasn't actually sick. The hospital misdiagnosed her." "Really?" Zhao Jiao nodded eagerly. Zhou Ting gently stroked her cheek, his voice icy. "You're not lying to me." Zhao Jiao declared firmly, "I would never lie to you. My sister just can't stand seeing us together, so she made up these lies to drive a wedge between us." Fearing I might say something else to her disadvantage, she hastily interjected, "But Zhou Ting, please spare her. After all, she's my sister. You're just too kind-hearted for your own good." Zhao Jiao said with a laugh, "Isn't that exactly what you love about me, my kindness?" Zhou Ting gave her a meaningful look, the corner of his mouth quirking up. "You're absolutely right," he said. "Let's consider this matter closed." After tidying up the desk, I went to the restroom, and Zhao Jiao followed me. She gloated, "See, Zhou Ting dotes on me now and does whatever I say. Just wait and see. With the right choices, my life won't be worse than yours." I replied indifferently, "Whatever makes you happy." In my past life, when I first met Zhou Ting, he treated me exceptionally well, attending to my every need with meticulous care, so when he proposed, I accepted without a second thought. After marriage, his violent nature surfaced. He'd lay hands on me at the slightest disagreement. Eventually, I realized his kindness was just a ruse to marry me and turn me into his personal organ bank. Multiple organs in his body show signs of deterioration, and coincidentally, I'm a perfect match for all of them. Zhou Ting is like a piece of candy, beautifully wrapped on the outside, but filled with viscous poison within. Zhao Jiao mistakenly thought I still had lingering feelings for Zhou Ting. Zhao Shui, it's too late for regrets now. Zhou Ting is mine, and I won't let you take him away. Don't worry, all I care about now is focusing on my studies. As long as you don't provoke me, I won't say anything inappropriate in front of him." Zhao Jiao sneered, "You'd better keep your word." After that confrontation, Zhao Jiao didn't dare to bother me again, but the way she looked at me was full of wariness, terrified I might steal her precious Zhou Ting. I found it amusing. No one but Zhao Jiao would treat trash like Zhou Ting as treasure. Zhou Ting didn't give me any trouble either. He'd just recovered and doctors had ordered him to rest. After that fight with Chen Wang, he started coughing up blood and was readmitted to the hospital. The Zhou family took their anger out on Chen Wang, exposing his dirty secrets and pressuring the school until he was forced to drop out. All in all, my school life remained relatively peaceful, but 2 days before the college entrance exams, everything changed. 7. Just 2 days before the college entrance exams, our school gave us seniors time off to study at home. After Zhao Jiao hooked up with Zhou Ting, she never cracked open a book again. She said Zhou Ting had promised to take her abroad for studies. Why bother hitting the books when she could just focus on him? Who needs some mythical book-smart beauty? Marrying Zhou Ting meant she'd have it all. So after coming home for the holidays, instead of studying, she spent all her time dating Zhou Ting, who had just been discharged from the hospital. One day, she came home with a slap mark on her face, My parents were heartbroken when they saw it and immediately asked what happened. Zhao Jiao Jiao pointed the finger at me. It's all Zhao Shue's fault. She told Zhou Ting about my ex-boyfriend. When Zhou Ting dug up details about my past with that guy, he got angry and taught me a lesson. My father raised his hand to hit me, but my mother stopped him. Don't you dare lay a finger on Zhao Shui. She bit back her words and shot my father a meaningful look. As if remembering something, my father immediately lowered his hand. Though I'd dodged a bullet, my heart sank like a stone. This is completely out of character. Knowing my mother, she'd never stop my father from hitting me. She'd actually pour fuel on the fire. She'd often say, I should have drowned you in the toilet right after you were born. Spare us all the misery of raising a cursed burden like you. But this time, they just shot me a vicious glare before turning their attention to Jiao Jiao Jiao, whose cheeks were flushed pink. Jiao Jiao, does it hurt? Let mom and dad take you to the hospital. I'm fine now, they pleaded. Jiao Jiao, break up with Zhou Ting. He's not right for you. No, despite being beaten by Zhou Ting. Jiao 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 defended him. Mom, Dad, Zhou Ting's usually so good to me. He's never laid a hand on me before, but he did hit you. Zhou Ting only hits me because he cares. Besides, he knows his limits. It didn't even hurt that much. Jiao 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 flashed a blissful smile, looking every bit the love-struck fool who believed affection could numb all pain. My father sighed. Never mind, your happiness is what matters most. Jiao Jiao, you must be hungry. Let me cook you something nice. My mom stood up too. I'll get you some ointment. Just apply it for half a day and the swelling will go down. Our precious Jiao Jiao will be her pretty little self again in no time. My parents were bending over backwards to cheer her up. With no attention left for me, I retreated to my room, narrowly avoiding trouble, yet feeling uneasy inside. The half-reviewed textbook lay on my desk, but I couldn't focus on a single word. The image of my mother stopping my father from hitting me keeps replaying in my mind, along with her pleading, honey, you can't hit Zhao Shui. Why shouldn't they hit me? They've never liked me anyway, always being rough with me without holding back. This time would be no different. Could it be because I'm about to take the college entrance exams, and they don't want to affect my performance? Impossible. If they truly wanted me to get into university, they wouldn't have made me donate a kidney to Zhou Ting during the most critical year of high school. Feeling restless, my gaze drifted to the window where a girl was selling gardenias. Big brother, why not buy a string for your girlfriend? They smell wonderful, wilted and pathetic. I wouldn't take them even if they were free. Some strange impulse made me think of myself. Are my parents not hitting me because they're planning to sell me off? A bruised face would lower my market value to decent families. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense. If they'd force me to sell a kidney for the Zhou family's million without caring about my health, selling me outright would be child's play to them. As for the motive, 9 times out of 10 it was about Jiao Jiao Jiao. Jiao 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 was terrified I'd change my mind and seduce Zhou Ting. If I got married, I'd no longer be a threat to her. The thought made me too anxious to stay home a moment longer. Grabbing my ID, exam admission ticket, and the little savings I'd scraped together over the years, I headed for the door. Outside the room, my dad was cooking while my mom and Jiao 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 watched TV, the picture-perfect family scene making me feel like an outsider. Maybe it's for the best. No one would pay me any attention anyway. Just as I reached the door, my mom suddenly called out, Zhao Shui, where do you think you're going? Holding up the trash bag, I replied without batting an eye. Taking out the garbage, she walked over and took the trash bag from my hands. Your college entrance exams are in 2 days. Go focus on your studies. I'll take care of this trash after dinner when I take out the kitchen waste. With that, my mother quietly locked the door behind her. Her refusal to let me out only confirmed my suspicions. Not wanting to arouse suspicion, I dropped the matter, obediently put down the trash bag, and retreated to my room. When the night grew still and everyone had fallen asleep, I quietly opened my tightly shut bedroom door. The living room was pitch black, save for the faint moonlight streaming through the window. I let out a soft sigh and tiptoed to the entrance, my hand just reaching the doorknob. A blinding light suddenly flashed from behind me. Jiao Jiao Jiao's spoiled voice rang out from nearby. Zhao Shui, where are you going in the middle of the night? 8, just my luck, of all times. Jiao 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 had to go to the bathroom right when I was trying to sneak out. I kept my tone calm. Can't sleep, just going for a walk. Oh, really? Jiao 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 walked over without batting an eye. Having grown up together, I knew her well enough. Her tone made it clear she didn't buy my story for a second. Without hesitation, I turned the doorknob and bolted for the exit, only to find the door had been deadbolt from inside with a key. Anticipating this, I swiftly pulled my keys from my pocket. The moment I inserted the key, Jiao 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 rushed over, grabbing my arm to stop me from turning it. She sneered triumphantly, Zhao Shui, Did you really think I'm that stupid? One look at you and I knew you'd try to run." Her voice turned vicious as she spat. "Listen carefully. As long as I'm alive, you'll never get near Zhou Ting. You're marrying that old bachelor. Period. His dowry money will fund my overseas studies." Rage surged through me. I grabbed Zhao Jiao by the hair and smashed her head against the wall. Thud, thud, missing a kidney and still recovering. Zhao stood no chance against me. Within moments, I'd pummeled her into dazed submission. She couldn't lift a finger to stop me. All the while, she kept screaming at the top of her lungs. One moment she'd shriek, "Zhao Shui, how dare you? I'll make mom and dad beat you black and blue." The next she'd wail, "Mom, dad, come quick. Zhao Shui's trying to kill me, she's going to run away." The commotion was so deafening there was no way our parents could sleep through it. Just as my parents came rushing out of the noise, I turned the key again. My heart was in my throat, and my hands trembled slightly. The lock was a bit stiff. Sometimes it took several tries to turn it open. I prayed silently that the lock would open smoothly this time. It was as if God had heard my prayers. The lock gave way after just 2 attempts. The moment I swung the door open, my parents were mere steps away. I bolted for the exit, but Zhao Shui, half conscious, suddenly grabbed my ankle. "You're not leaving," she slurred. "I'll make sure mom and dad skin you alive today." Without hesitation, I drove my foot straight into Zhao Jiao's face, twice, with brutal force. Zhao Jiao cared about nothing more than her face. True enough, she immediately released her grip to shield her face. She screamed through the pain, "It hurts. My nose might be broken, you bitch, I'll make sure you die horribly." Seizing the opportunity, I bolted for the exit. Just then, my parents had already rushed up to me. One of them focused on the injured Zhao Jiao, while the other reached out to grab me as I stepped out the door. My father had already seized my shirt collar, yanking me back while shouting, "You little bastard, get your ass back here now." The house was brightly lit, radiating warmth, yet outside, it was dark and bitterly cold. But I knew, stepping back into this house would seal my doom beyond redemption. This was Zhao Jiao's home, never mine. The more chaotic things became, the calmer I grew. I stopped running. I knew my strength was no match for a grown man. I grabbed the doorknob and flung it outward with all my might. The next second, my father's agonized scream pierced the air. The door had crushed his hand with a sickening force. The pain made him release his grip on me. I might have imagined it, but I swear I heard the sickening crack of bone. When my father finally let go, I knew this was my chance to run. I didn't run. I watched his exposed forearm, too slow to pull back, gripping the doorknob as he slammed the door again and again. My father's agonized wails and pleas for mercy filled the air, yet I felt an exhilarating rush of satisfaction. "Do you feel it now, Dad?" "I felt the same pain every time you hit me. When I begged for mercy, you'd just hit me harder, just like this." After countless struggles, I finally escaped that icy household, their curses ringing in my ears. I severed all ties with that family. On this drizzly spring night with a biting wind, I fled toward freedom. When my exhilaration subsided, the most pressing reality confronted me. Where could I find shelter to safely complete my college entrance exams? I knew my parents wouldn't let me go easily. They'd stop at nothing to sabotage me, drag me back, and force me to marry that old bachelor Zhao Jiao kept mentioning. "I'll definitely show up at the exam hall, and they probably know that." 9. I considered calling the police, but it's a family matter. My parents put on this perfect parent act in public. It's downright deceptive. The cops might not even take my side sometimes. I thought of my homeroom teacher, Ms. Chu. She was such a wonderful teacher. That time when she heard Zhou Ting had given me trouble in class, she even called me to her office specifically. She told me I must come to her if anyone ever bullied me. She would never tolerate Zhou Ting's bullying behavior on campus just because he came from a privileged family. I also heard she sponsored a girl from an impoverished mountain village, saving her from child marriage. She always encouraged girls to study hard and take control of their own destinies. With these thoughts in mind, I went to find Teacher Chu, just as I expected. When Teacher Chu heard about my situation, she didn't hesitate for a second before deciding to take me in. "Don't worry, I'll make sure you're safe." With Teacher Chu's reassurance, the weight slowly lifted from my anxious heart. Noticing my rain-soaked hair, Teacher Chu handed me clean clothes and a towel. "These are from my college days. They should fit you. Go shower now before you catch a cold. Don't forget you've got college entrance exams the day after tomorrow." My nose tingled with emotion. "Thank you, Professor Chu." Professor Chu gently patted my hair and said tenderly, "If you really want to thank me, ace your exams and make something of yourself. Prove all those doubters wrong." "Alright." Worried I might catch a cold, Professor Chu brewed me ginger tea shortly after I finished showering. I sat wrapped in a blanket, sipping the ginger tea. My heart felt warm, and so did my stomach. Just then, my parents called her asking if she'd seen me. And Teacher Chu said no. My parents said, "Teacher, you don't understand, this child got involved with shady people online, stole money from home, and ran away. When we tried to stop her, she even hurt us. If you hear anything about her, you must let us know." Teacher Chu glanced at me and simply said, "Okay." After hanging up, Teacher Chu rubbed his temples and sighed. "What kind of people are your parents? I've never seen such blatant favoritism in my life, because I look like grandma." "What is it?" I spoke slowly. "When my grandmother was young, she suffered domestic violence from my grandfather. To protect herself, she fled to another city, without taking my father. That's why he resented her. Later, she remarried a wealthy man, had 2 more children, and secured their futures early. But when my father got married, she only gave a red envelope. My mother thought grandma played favorites and grew to dislike her too." Keeping my eyes downcast, I added, "Eventually, they started seeing me as a reminder of grandma, and nothing I did could please them. In my past life, it took me forever to uncover why they always favored Jiao Jiao Jiao, absurd as it sounds. That's the truth." Teacher Chu sighed after hearing this. "It's not your fault, they simply didn't deserve to be your parents." She patted my shoulder again. "It's all behind you now." I thought I'd have trouble sleeping in an unfamiliar place. Surprisingly, I slept like a baby. This place just felt so comforting. When I woke up, Teacher Chu had already prepared breakfast. "You're awake. Come have breakfast after washing up. Hope it suits your taste." Her smile was so tender towards me. This was such a rare experience for me. I'd been in charge of making breakfast for the family since I was little. I had to wake up an hour earlier than everyone else to prepare their favorite breakfast. My parents prefer Chinese breakfast, while Zhao Jiao Jiao likes Western-style mornings. As for what I like to eat, I don't even know myself, and they don't seem to care. After breakfast, I rushed to wash the dishes before Teacher Chu could. "You're such a thoughtful child," Teacher Chu said. "I prepared some senior year review materials in the study. Stay home and study today. I'll take you to the college entrance exam tomorrow." I thanked her. The day passed quietly and leisurely. Then at dusk, urgent knocking shattered the tranquility. A bad feeling instantly washed over me. As I opened the study door, Professor Chu happened to step out of his room at the same moment. We approached the door and saw through the video doorbell my father with his arm in a sling, and Jiao 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 with bandages covering her forehead and nose. To our surprise, Zhou Ting stood beside her, flanked by several burly men who looked ready for trouble. Come to think of it, Zhou Ting's arrival makes perfect sense. He sees Jiao 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 as his personal property. He'd never allow anyone but himself to lay a finger on her. Beside them stood a middle-aged man in his 40s or 50s, with dark skin, thinning hair, and yellowed teeth visible whenever he spoke. His eyes gleamed with an unfriendly, ruthless sharpness. I figured this must be the old bachelor Jiao 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 had mentioned. Just thinking about it makes me sick to my stomach. I'm so relieved I caught on to their plan to sell me last night and managed to escape. Otherwise, I'd be facing a living hell with no way out. As for my mother, she was standing there with hands on hips, screaming her head off. "Zhao Shui, I know you're in there. Get your ass out here right now. Did you really think hiding at your homeroom teacher's place would keep us from finding you? The Zhou family has connections everywhere. Tracking you down is just one phone call away. You heard our Jiao Jiao. And neither we nor Zhou Ting will let this slide." She kept screaming. "Teacher Chu, I actually thought you were decent. Turns out you're just another piece of trash. You almost fooled me. Open this damn door now. You have no idea what you're bringing upon yourself by crossing the Zhou family." I knew Teacher Chu wouldn't hand me over, but I was afraid I'd end up dragging her into this mess. As if sensing my thoughts, Teacher Chu took my hand. "It's all right. I'm an adult. I can handle this." Her hand was small yet warm and firm. My anxious heart gradually settled. When my parents saw Teacher Chu wasn't answering, they huddled with Zhou Ting briefly before sending some burly men to break down the teacher's door. When persuasion failed, they resorted to force. No door could withstand that kind of battering. It was only a matter of time before they forced their way in. 10. Anticipating this, Teacher Chu decided to call for backup. She didn't call the police. After all, this was a family matter. She feared the police might let my parents take me away under their relentless pressure. Instead, she called her friends for backup. Soon enough, a tall woman with burgundy curls arrived, accompanied by a dozen burly men armed with steel pipes. The woman rapped the metal pipe against the wall with a sharp clang, instantly drawing everyone's attention. "So you're the ones giving Chu trouble." The curly-haired woman shot my parents a glance, her tone icy and detached. Her commanding presence was overwhelming. Under her hostile gaze, my parents' previously upright postures involuntarily slumped. Zhou Ting kicked over the trash bag Teacher Chu's neighbor had left by the door. "This is family business, none of your damn concern." The curly-haired woman arched an eyebrow and strode toward Zhou Ting. Her leather boots struck the floor with menacing thuds. Zhou Ting's men rushed forward to block her path. The curly-haired woman didn't even bat an eye. With a snap of her fingers, her subordinates subdued them all without touching a single strand of her hair. My parents and Zhao Jiaojiao watched the scene unfold, their earlier arrogance completely gone. They trembled like frightened quails, not daring to make a sound. Terrified they'd be next, the curly-haired woman grabbed Zhou Ting by the collar and lifted him effortlessly, like plucking a chick from its nest. Zhou Ting certainly put up a fight, but frail and just out of the hospital, he was no match for the curly-haired woman. The collar choked Zhou Ting until his face turned crimson. "You little brat, you scared my friend." The curly-haired woman gave Zhou Ting's cheek a firm pat. "I don't care about family drama when it comes to my friends. Their business is my business, whoever they protect, I protect." Her warning gaze swept across my parents before settling on Zhou Ting. "In our line of work, there's only one rule, an eye for an eye. Go ahead, try messing with that kid again, but remember, walk down enough dark alleys, and you're bound to take a nasty fall. Broken arms and legs happen all the time. Think carefully before doing anything stupid." The sheer intensity of the curly-haired woman's presence silenced everyone. My parents ducked their heads even lower, terrified of catching the curly-haired woman's attention. "What a loser." The curly-haired woman snorted in derision and released her grip. Zhou Ting collapsed onto the floor and remained there for a long moment, unable to get up. Zhao Jiaojiao reached out to steady him, but Zhou Ting shoved her away violently. "Get lost." It was all because of her that Zhou Ting had been reduced to such a pitiful state, and he'd grown to despise her for it. Instead of getting angry, Zhao Jiaojiao murmured a quiet apology, her usual arrogance nowhere to be seen. Zhou Ting probably knew he could treat Zhao Jiaojiao however he wanted without consequence. That's why he'd laid hands on her yesterday. I have a feeling Zhao Jiaojiao won't even make it to marriage with Zhou Ting. She'll suffer his abuse during their study abroad days. In under 2 minutes, my parents left with the whole entourage in tow. Before storming off, Zhou Ting shot the curly-haired woman a murderous glare and spat. "This isn't over." The curly-haired woman smirked and flipped him the bird. Zhou Ting probably wanted to curse, but the thought of the curly-haired woman's combat skills and the burly men around her stopped him. In the end, he left without a word, grinding his teeth in frustration. Once they were gone, the curly-haired woman dismissed the hired muscle and entered Teacher Chu's house alone. 11. Teacher Chu introduced her to me. "This is Shen Sang, my friend, Miss Shen." That name sounds vaguely familiar. I tried hard to recall, but it just wouldn't come to me. Miss Shen's cold demeanor melted away when she saw me. With a warm smile, she said, "Hey kiddo, was I too harsh earlier? Don't be scared, I'm just in the logistics business. Those guys are my employees, not gangsters," I said with genuine admiration. "You weren't harsh at all, you're actually really cool. I want to be someone like you when I grow up." Shen Sang's smile deepened. "Such a sweet talker. I didn't save you for nothing." She asked Teacher Chu, "Hey Chu, what's going on with these people outside?" Teacher Chu briefly explained the whole situation to Shen Sang. Shen Sang regretted, "Had I known, I wouldn't have let them off so easily today. I should have given them a good beating." At the most inopportune moment, Shen's stomach let out an embarrassing growl. Teacher Chu shot her a disapproving look. "Skipped breakfast again. How many times must I tell you? Breakfast is non-negotiable, your stomach will suffer. Work's been crazy lately, no paycheck is worth your health." Shen Sang listened to Teacher Chu's chattering with a smile. Eventually, Teacher Chu gave Shen Sang some bread to tide her over before starting lunch preparations. As we ate, spring thunder rumbled and the morning's briefly ceased rain began falling again. I got up to close the windows, hearing Teacher Chu and Shen Sang's conversation behind me. "It always rains during the National College entrance exams. Looks like this year's no exception. Mr. Shen, aren't you traveling for work tomorrow? The roads get slippery when it rains. Drive carefully." My hand paused on the window latch, then it hit me. I'd heard Mr. Shen's name before, from a classmate. 6 years after high school graduation, our class held a reunion. Everyone in our class adored Ms. Chu. We wanted to invite her, but our class monitor said she'd left the city right after teaching our cohort, choosing to transfer to rural areas for volunteer teaching. Someone asked, "Why so suddenly?" The monitor explained, "Ms. Chu originally came to this city because her close friend Shen Sang lived here. After her friend passed away in a landslide, she couldn't bear to stay in this place of heartbreak. It happened right around our college entrance exams. That day, Teacher Chu got a phone call and her face turned ashen, like the sky had fallen. I've met Teacher Chu's friend before, a really beautiful older sister who often picked her up after work. They were so close. No wonder Teacher Chu was devastated. I turned back to look at Teacher Chu and Shin Sang chatting and laughing together, my expression complicated. They're so perfectly matched. I hope they'll stay this happy together forever. Just like this. I've made up my mind. No matter what it takes, I'll change Shin Sang's fate. During dinner, I pleaded, Sis Shin, could you take me to my exam tomorrow? I'm afraid my parents might give me trouble. They wouldn't dare. Shin Sang jabbed her chopsticks into the rice bowl. Fine, I'll go with you tomorrow, Teacher Chu said. Aren't you supposed to be on a business trip tomorrow? The business trip can wait. Our child's college entrance exam comes first, Mr. Shin replied. I wouldn't trust anyone else with something this important. I gave them a grateful smile. Mr. Shin is truly a good man. Good people get their just rewards. 12. On the day of the college entrance exam, my parents predictably wouldn't give up. They brought some tough guys to block the school gate. Mr. Shin arrived with his crew, knocked them flat, and safely escorted me through the school gates. Waving at me, she said, Zhao Shui, give it your all in the exam, aim to soar toward broader horizons. I nodded emphatically, absolutely. On the second day of the college entrance exams, my parents didn't send anyone to harass me. When Shin Sang dropped me off at the school gate again, I understood why. My parents' faces were bruised and swollen. Clearly Shin had taught them a lesson, so they didn't dare bother me anymore. With ample time to prepare this time. Those exam papers didn't seem difficult to me. I have a feeling I'll score well on this test. The first thing I did when returning to Teacher Chu's place was turn on the TV. Shortly after, local news reported a mudslide on the highway, fortunately with no casualties. Reading this news report brought a smile to my face. Shin sat down beside me. You must have done well on the exams to be smiling like that while reading the news. I glanced at Teacher Chu watering flowers in the distance. Then turned to Shin beside me. Yes, really well. 13. Even after the college entrance exams, Teacher Chu still worried about me. Your parents have gone too far this time. Why don't you stay with me before college? I've got a spare room anyway. I appreciate your kindness, Professor Chu. I made up my mind. When I make something of myself someday, I'll repay Professor Chu and Sister Shin properly. The college entrance exam results are out. I ranked third in the city, a really impressive achievement. Both my school and local businesses awarded me some scholarships. All things considered, it added up to tens of thousands, enough to cover my college tuition and living expenses. I gave 10,000 to Ms. Chu as a token of gratitude for her guidance. Teacher Chu accepted it, then immediately bought me a laptop, phone, and new clothes. I've been teaching for years. Money's not an issue. How could I actually take your money? Shin nodded. If you really want to repay us, study hard and make something of yourself. A wave of warmth flooded my heart. Words of gratitude have been said too many times. This time, I'd rather prove it through actions. At the graduation party, I saw Zhao Jiajiao and Zhou Ting again. Zhou Ting lounged on the couch like a lord while Zhao Jiajiao bustled around attending to him. I shook my head. Zhao Jiajiao's rebirth just meant finding a new master to serve, after enduring years of living at others' mercy. How could she not understand that relying on men is never as dependable as self-reliance? My classmates congratulated me one after another when they saw my outstanding exam results. Only Zhao Jiajiao let out an ill-timed snort. What's the point of acing exams? You'll still end up working for others. Meanwhile, I'm studying abroad with Zhou Ting. After graduation, I'll marry into his wealthy family as a lady of leisure. Her tactless remark offended half the room. And classmates quickly fired back. Zhao Jiajiao, why didn't you attend Peking University like Zhao Shui? Was it by choice? Sisters, yet worlds apart. One gets into a top school with scholarships, the other has to pay her way abroad. The gap isn't just in IQ, her ego's even bigger. Since when did gold digging become something to brag about? Flushing crimson with rage, Zhao Jiajiao clung to Zhou Ting's arm and whined, Zhou Ting, they're all bullying me. Zhou Ting slammed the table. Enough, aren't you ashamed enough already? Zhao Jiajiao flinched in fright, though spoiled by nature. She bit back her retort, remembering she still needed Zhou Ting's support. Her eyes reddened as she swallowed the humiliation. The private room felt stifling, so I stepped outside for air. Before long, Zhou Ting approached me, his gaze burning with predatory intent. Zhao Shui, you're far more interesting than your sister. I could take you abroad for studies, if you know how to behave. Zhou Ting looked down on everyone by nature. The truth was, he never saw me as human, just some plaything to manipulate at will. I shot Zhou Ting a glance and sneered, give up a top-tier university to follow you into exile. You wish, just as expected. The moment I clapped back, Zhou Ting immediately dropped the act, his face turning cold. Zhao Shui, me offering to take you abroad is me doing you a favor, don't push your luck. Fucking asshole, I couldn't be bothered to waste more words on him. Turning around, I headed back to the private room, leaving Zhou Ting fuming where he stood. On my way back, I ran into Zhao Jiao who was coming to meet Zhou Ting. Seeing us apart, Zhao Jiao visibly relaxed. Stay away from Zhou Ting, he's mine. Zhao Jiao sneered. Zhao Shui, you must be so proud of getting into that prestigious university, but mark my words, once I marry Zhou Ting, I'll be living the high life as a wealthy socialite. That worthless diploma of yours won't measure up to my status even after 30 years of slaving away. With a triumphant smirk, she strutted toward Zhou Ting as if she'd already won. Banking on marriage to change your fate is downright foolish. What's worse, the man Zhao Jiao set her sights on was nothing but trouble. Deep down, she knew exactly what kind of scoundrel Zhou Ting was. She'd just been blinded by his wealth. Watching her fawn over Zhou Ting with sickening sweetness, I averted my gaze. It's your choice to make. All I can do is respect and wish you well. 14. During summer break, I took on a tutoring job that kept my days fulfilling. One time when I came home, I saw Sister Shin, usually so cheerful, looking troubled while speaking with Teacher Chu, but when I approached, they immediately acted normal, urging me to wash up and join them for dinner. I asked, Sis Shin, are you having some trouble? Shin replied, just a minor thing. Teacher Chu put a chicken drumstick on my plate, saying, alright, let's eat, Shin can handle it, no need to worry. Since they didn't want me to know, I didn't press further, but I can't shake the feeling that Sister Shin's current troubles are somewhat connected to me. After asking around for days, I finally learned what's been troubling Shin. Zhou Ting held a grudge over Shin reprimanding her that day, and urged her parents to teach Shin a lesson. Zhou Ting's parents, who doted on their child excessively, immediately retaliated against Shin. Mr. Shin's business has taken a heavy blow, though it was clearly my fault. Neither Mr. Shin nor Professor Chu breathed a word about it to me. They never held it against me and continued treating me with kindness. My heart swelled with both gratitude and guilt. I wanted to do something for Mr. Shin. But I'm just a high school graduate with nothing to offer, no money, and not enough capability. Even with memories of past lives, I couldn't achieve anything significant. A profound sense of helplessness overwhelmed me as I wandered aimlessly through the streets. I came to a halt when I reached the lottery shop entrance. A long-forgotten memory surfaced in my mind. The year we graduated high school, someone won a 630 million yuan jackpot. A classmate joked in the group chat about memorizing the lottery numbers. If reincarnation's real, he'd be the next billionaire. I can't explain why, but I jotted it down anyway. Having forgotten which draw the winner played, I resorted to the dumbest approach, buying tickets for every single draw, and so I kept buying lottery tickets for a whole month. Forget about hitting the jackpot. I didn't even win a measly $10 prize. Did I remember the wrong number, after all these years? It's only natural I'd mix up the numbers, but this isn't the outcome I wanted. Mr. Shin's company is struggling more each day, and I feel utterly frustrated being unable to help. Shin, on the other hand, took it all in stride, chatting and laughing with Teacher Chu. It's fine, I've still got you, haven't I? Teacher Chu chimed in, if Boss Shin ever goes bankrupt, I'll take care of you. Their relaxed and carefree attitude eased my guilt a little. Heaven still favors me. I hit the jackpot just 2 days before school started. After so much anticipation and repeated disappointments, surprisingly, I felt completely calm when I learned I'd won. Mostly relief. Mr. Shin's company would be saved now. When I told Ms. Shin the news, she thought I was joking. After confirming I'd actually won the jackpot, Ms. Shin excitedly swept me into her arms. Her embrace was warm and sweetly fragrant. Ms. Shin used the money to pull through her difficulties. She's truly wonderful. Ms. Shin even insisted on transferring some company shares to me, saying she couldn't possibly take my money for nothing. The Zhou family spent a fortune trying to undermine Shin Seng's company. They eventually stopped harassing Shin Seng. After all, business is business, and nobody wants to keep losing money. 15. 5 years flew by in the blink of an eye. During those years, I juggled my studies with starting a company using leftover prize money. Leveraging memories from my past life to begin venture investments. There were ups and downs along the way, but I overcame every challenge. By the time I graduated, I'd become a rising star in the business world. Now even Zhou Ting's parents have to address me respectfully as President Zhao. Truth be told, Zhou Ting's parents haven't had it easy these years. Zhou Ting's parents were shady characters, and their company had its fair share of dirty dealings. Shin Seng and I never forgot the old grudges. Once our own business stabilized, we seized every opportunity to make them pay. Zhou Ting's parents were swamped with troubles as their company spiraled downward. During this time, my parents came sniffing around for money, trying to play the family card now that I'd made it big. Turns out they had no emotional leverage to play at all. What a joke. I couldn't be bothered with them. Told security to keep them out, and blocked their numbers. They pulled the same old emotional blackmail routine, making a scene at my office, wailing, making threats, calling me an ungrateful wretch who abandoned them after making it big. When security asked them to leave, they assaulted the guard and sneered, "My daughter owns this place, lay one finger on me and see what happens." Then they started shamelessly screaming, "Assault! My ungrateful daughter is attacking her own parents who sacrificed everything to raise her." Just to avoid paying our rightful support, they were absolutely certain I'd cave to their bullying like before and agree to their outrageous demands, but they'd forgotten I wasn't that pushover they used to control anymore. I called the cops immediately. The police treated them to a few days' hospitality at the station and made them compensate the security guards for medical bills and lost wages. After learning their lesson the hard way, they never bothered me again. I next saw Zhao Jiao and Zhou Ting at a charity gala after their return from abroad. 16. To be honest, I barely recognized Zhao Jiao at first glance. She'd aged considerably, her hair thinning, her eyes dull and lifeless. No amount of foundation could conceal her sallow, exhausted face. Rumor has it she was pregnant with Zhou Ting's child twice abroad, but he accidentally caused both miscarriages. Yet even so, she never considered leaving Zhou Ting. When Zhou Ting's alcoholism destroyed his liver overseas, Zhao Jiao still donated part of hers to him. The moment she returned home, she rushed to get married with him. Now, Zhao Jiao walked slightly hunched, following Zhou Ting's every step like a marionette on his strings. Having finally entered the glamorous social circle she'd long dreamed of, a faint smile played on Zhao Jiao's lips, but it was a hollow smile, tinged with disappointment. Nothing turned out as she had imagined. Being the young mistress of the Zhou family brought her no respect. Now that the Zhous had fallen from grace, this daughter vine clinging to Zhou Ting found herself utterly neglected. Zhou Ting walked in holding a drink, immediately striking up a conversation with another woman without so much as glancing her way. Zhao Jiao swallowed her anger in silence, pretending not to notice as she nursed her drink in miserable solitude. It wasn't until she saw me standing radiant under the spotlight, surrounded by well-wishers, that her lifeless eyes flickered with something new, hatred. When I finally found a quiet corner to sit, she approached me and hissed through clenched teeth, "Zhao Shui, you must be thrilled to see me in such misery." I replied with a beaming smile, "You figured me out. How clever of you. In my past life, Zhao Jiao was the death of me. In this lifetime, she nearly destroyed me again. How could I not despise her?" Zhao Jiao clenched her fists in rage. "Zhao Shui, you vicious witch, you knew Zhou Ting was abusive and had ulterior motives approaching me, yet you stood by and watched me walk into this living hell." Her eyes burned not just with hatred, but murderous intent. 2 lifetimes, and she hasn't changed a bit. Her life was in shambles, yet she blamed neither her own poor choices nor the man who'd brought her to this point. The only one she hated was me, the one living better than her, the only safe target for her rage. I gave her a long, hard look. "Even if I warned you, would you listen? You'd just think I'm jealous of your good fortune, trying to steal your golden opportunity." In this lifetime, I barely interacted with Zhou Ting, yet she still managed to sell me off in marriage. If I tried to reason with her, who knows what outrageous things she might do next. Zhao Jiao wouldn't hear it. "If you truly meant well, why wouldn't I listen? If you have any conscience left, tell me how you won Zhou Ting over in our past life. I remember he treated you well eventually. What you achieved, I can achieve too." She's beyond redemption. Even at rock bottom, she still pins her hopes on men to change her fate. "Do you really want to know?" Zhao Jiao nodded, her face darkening. "Zhao Shui, are you refusing? I could tell you. But only if you get our parents to sign an agreement, one that severs all ties between them and me for good." "No problem." Zhao Jiao agreed without hesitation. Within 2 days, Zhao Jiao had my parents sign that very agreement. Before signing the agreement, my parents looked at me with disappointment. "Shui, how could you be so heartless? Raising you wasn't easy. How can you just cut ties with us like this?" I gave them a sardonic smile. Surviving this family wasn't exactly a walk in the park either. "Besides, I'm not forcing you to sign anything." Jiao cried out, "Mom, Dad, you're not changing your minds, are you? My entire future happiness is in your hands." My parents avoided my gaze. "We'll sign, of course we'll sign. Your happiness comes first." Without hesitation, they signed their names on the spot. The corners of my lips curled up. I knew this would happen. After receiving the agreement, I told Zhao Jiao everything she wanted to know. 17. In my past life, Zhou Ting showed his true colors shortly after we married. He was volatile and abusive, beating me regularly for no reason. At first, I kept wondering if I'd done something wrong to deserve such treatment. Eventually I realized Zhou Ting was just a twisted psychopath. Once, we went on an overseas trip together. When we reached the Zhou family's villa there, I imprisoned him. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. Before the imprisonment, I studied numerous books on psychological manipulation to prepare thoroughly. I kept Zhou Ting captive for 4 months, conditioning him throughout that period. 4 months later, he became as docile as a lamb and never dared lay a finger on me again. Upon hearing this, Zhao Jiao couldn't wait to put it into practice. 18. 3 months later, the police came knocking, asking if I'd seen Zhao Jiao. Turned out Zhao Jiao had accidentally killed Zhou Ting after imprisoning him at home, given her impatience for quick results, lack of theoretical knowledge, and Zhou Ting's naturally weak constitution. This outcome doesn't surprise me at all. Later, when Zhou Ting's parents hadn't heard from him for a while, they decided to visit him in person, fearing her scheme would be exposed. Zhao Jiao went all the way and murdered them too. She then set the place on fire, trying to stage it as an accidental blaze, but Zhao Jiao never expected that Zhou Ting's parents weren't completely dead. They managed to call the police with their dying breath. Seeing the police arrive, Zhao Jiao slipped away unnoticed and remains at large to this day. If you have any information on Zhao Jiao's whereabouts, please contact the authorities immediately. Alright. 19. Another half-month passed. That rich kid never married my sister. He just kept her as his mistress on the side. Out of nowhere, a woman in a baseball cap and surgical mask rushed at me, brandishing a knife. Before the assailant could reach me, undercover bodyguards swiftly subdued them. During the struggle, the attacker's cap fell off, revealing Zhao Jiao's face. Zhao Jiao's face was crisscrossed with burned scars, her entire body reeking of decay. It was clear these days in hiding hadn't been kind to Zhao Jiao. She thrashed wildly, screaming, "Zhao Shui, you ruined me. I'll kill you. I could kill you once, I can kill you twice." I didn't bother exchanging more words with her. People like her never take responsibility. It's always someone else's fault when things go wrong. I immediately called the police and had them take her away. 20. Zhao Jiao's crimes were so heinous that the court sentenced her to death. The shock of this news gave my mother a stroke, leaving her wheelchair-bound for life. My father didn't fare much better. He fell seriously ill and lost his job. Being too old, he couldn't find decent work and had to make ends meet as a janitor. Ironically, he ended up working alongside that old bachelor who was supposed to be set up with me. The old bachelor held a grudge against him for not selling me to him and constantly bullied him. Serves you right. On my birthday, my father called me from someone else's phone. "Shui Zhao, I know you hate us, but right now, your mother and I are your only family left. You can't just abandon us. We signed the agreement already. Whether you thrive or struggle, that's none of my concern." I glanced at Teacher Chu, who'd been cooking all afternoon for my birthday, and Sister Shinseng, who'd traveled specially to be here, then said, "Besides, I've already found my real family, people who truly love me." I hung up before he could say another word. That day, surrounded by the warm wishes of loved ones, I made a birthday wish for us to live out our days in peace and happiness. The end. Next story. After Song Kai and I were reborn together, we tacitly pretended that we didn't know each other. He followed the class beauty to go to college in another city, and I stayed in this city, relying on the experience of living an extra life. He quickly became a rising star in the industry, married a beautiful woman, and enjoyed great glory. I stayed with my parents and lived a happy life in my hometown. We met again at a class reunion 10 years later. He hugged the school beauty, smoked a cigar, looked at me in plain clothes, and said sarcastically, "In the past 10 years, have you become like this?" I am indifferent, until the late business tycoon hugged me and said, "Excuse me, my wife is pregnant. I hope everyone will not smoke indoors." Song Kai, who was usually reserved and calm, was visibly panicked. He finally realized that I was not angry with him after so many years of separation. 1. The next time I met Song Kai was at a class reunion 10 years later. I pushed open the door of the private room and heard someone inside teasing, "Song Kai, you are really good, you even got the class beauty." Nonsense. Don't you see how well Song Kai is doing in the big city now? How can ordinary people like us compare with Boss Song? But I heard that you and Ching were having an affair. You two often studied together, and everyone in the class said you were a couple. At that moment I heard a familiar voice casually say, "It's just a learning partnership. Don't take it seriously." I smiled indifferently. It has been 10 years since I was reborn, so naturally I don't have any emotions anymore. so I calmly opened the door. Even though I hadn't seen him for 10 years, I recognized Song Kai at first sight. He was sitting on the sofa, smoking a cigar. With the class beauty Lin Ranran leaning in his arms, the classmates gathered around them. The two of them are like the moon surrounded by stars. The moment I appeared, everyone looked over at me. The squad leader immediately said enthusiastically, "Oh, if you mention the devil, he will appear, and Ching, look who's here." Song Kai and I looked at each other. He hugged Lin Ranran, looked me up and down with a frivolous look in his eyes, and a hint of disdain flashed in his eyes. "I am dressed simply today. I didn't wear any makeup because I was pregnant." The whole person looked a little dusty. There's no comparison with Lin Ranran. She was wearing a Chanel dress, carrying an Hermes bag, and had exquisite makeup on, making her look like a very pampered person. I greeted them gracefully. "Long time no see." Song Kai nodded slightly, very indifferent. Lin Ranran just smiled slightly. I didn't bother to please them, so I turned around and started chatting with some of my more familiar classmates. "The only one missing is Lu Yan," the squad leader suddenly said. "He just sent us a message saying that the plane is delayed and that we don't need to wait for him." All the students sat around the dining table. They all took the initiative to toast Song Kai and praised him highly. After 3 rounds of drinks, I went to the bathroom. As soon as I came out, I met Song Kai, whose face was red due to alcohol. He said sarcastically, "And Ching, in the 10 years since you left me, have you become like this?" "I am indifferent." I just suddenly remembered what happened before we were reborn, too. Before my rebirth, Song Kai and I had a fierce argument on the highway. The reason was that after graduating from university, I accompanied Song Kai to the big city and worked hard together for a full 10 years. Now that my career has been somewhat successful, I want to go back to my hometown. I am an only child. My father died last year because he suffered a cerebral hemorrhage and was not sent to the hospital in time. My mother is the only one left at home, and I am worried about her. Song Kai also promised me that he would go back once he made a certain amount of money, but now he keeps procrastinating, saying that there is no future in his hometown and it is not worth going back, and he told me clearly that he would never go back. At worst, I can bring my mother here to raise her, but my mother had been here a long time ago. She was not used to this city and had no relatives or friends around her. Not to mention my mom. I haven't felt a sense of belonging in this city for so many years. I finally couldn't help but get angry at him. "If you don't go back, I will go back by myself." "Do you really have to push me like this?" Song Kai questioned me. "What's wrong with staying in this city? Do you want to be a country bumpkin for the rest of your life? When our child is born, will we lose at the starting line?" I am now 5 months pregnant, also because I'm pregnant. I want to go back even more. I know how hard it is to leave a city once a child is born. Besides, my hometown is not bad. Although it is not an international first-tier city, it is also a quasi-first-tier city, and is not as bad as Song Kai said. "According to you, people who stay in small cities are useless. Only useless people would be willing to live in a small city, muddle-headed all their lives, without any ambitions." Song Kai's face was full of contempt. "I despise people like this the most. In your mind, this is who I am, right?" I sneered. "I don't want you to become such a person," Song Kai said righteously. Then he suddenly said, "If I had known earlier, I shouldn't have chosen to stay in my hometown with you to go to college. It delayed me for 4 years. I should have come here earlier with Lin Ranran to work hard, before graduating from high school." Lin Ranran confessed to him, but he rejected her. He and I have been steady partners for 3 years, and we have already developed feelings for each other. But ever since he accompanied me to apply for university in my hometown, I don't know how many times these 14 years have been repeated. At first I thought he was just joking. Maybe he was telling me in disguise how good he was to me, how much he loved me, and how much he had sacrificed for me. Later I found out that he really felt very regretful. So after we had a car accident and were unexpectedly reborn together on the day of filling out college entrance examination applications, he had no choice but to follow Lin Ranran to go to college in another province. I stayed in this city. We both knew that the other had been reborn, but we both tacitly agreed not to interfere with each other. 3. I thought Song Kai and I would never have any contact with each other in this life, looking at his appearance at this moment. It was obvious that he was waiting for me on purpose. Seeing that I didn't say anything, he sarcastically said, "Now you finally understand what great development you can achieve by staying in your hometown. Look at yourself, and then look at these old classmates, who is living a good life. But it's too late for you to regret. I've already planned to marry Lin Ranran." He took out a huge ring. The diamond is huge, about 5 carats. "The reason I could tell it at a glance is that it looks a little smaller than the one I have at home," he said. "If you hadn't done it, this ring would have belonged to you." When Song Kai and I got married in my previous life, he wasn't as rich as he is now, so the ring he bought was very ordinary. The show-off at this moment is also undisguised. Then congratulations, I said indifferently, walk right past him. I felt Song Kai's gaze behind me, and he seemed unhappy. I don't even know what he's upset about. He chose his own path, and the life he lives is what he dreamed of in his previous life. Could it be that he really needs to see me regretting things in order to be happy? I sat back in my dining chair when the phone rang, looking at the incoming call. I answered it. Have you gotten off the plane? Yes, I'll be right there. If you're tired, then don't come over. I'll go back by myself later. How can you let your wife go to a class reunion by herself and then go back by herself? She'll be there in 20 minutes. I smiled and said nothing more, putting down the phone. Suddenly someone came over, and Ching, Lin Ranran took the initiative to bring over a glass of wine. Long time no see. I'll toast you a glass and thank you, Lin Ranran said with a smile. I heard from Akai that if you hadn't been his study partner, he wouldn't have been able to get into a 211 university. I can't say thank you, we just helped each other. No matter what, you have contributed to Kai's current success. I'll toast to you on his behalf. As he said this, he was about to pour beer into my glass. I don't drink, I refused. Just drink a little. She poured me a glass of wine despite my objections, and I pushed her away with my hand. Ah, Lin Ranran suddenly screamed. The beer spilled all over her clothes and bag. She quickly took a napkin and kept wiping it, saying, "My clothes and bag can't get wet." The other students also knew that the set she was wearing was very valuable, and they all looked at her nervously. Lin Ranran wiped it for a long time, then said to me, "And Ching, even if you are jealous of me, you can't do this to me. You damaged my clothes and bag. Can you afford to pay for it?" I haven't spoken yet. Song Kai walked over and angrily said, "And Ching, you're going too far." "I didn't mean to do that," I explained. "I really didn't mean it. And it seemed that I didn't push the bottle of wine just now. I just stopped Lin Ranran from pouring the wine, but for some reason, the wine poured out of the beer bottle in her hand and spilled all over her. I just said that Ranran and I are getting married, and you got so upset." Song Kai ridiculed me in public. The students next to him couldn't help but talk about it. Really, I think Ching is a very calm person. She wouldn't be jealous of others, right? Don't judge a person by his appearance. The more some people act as if they don't care, the more they care deep down. I heard that Ching and Song Kai were together before, but they broke up after Song Kai went to college in another city. Now that Ching sees that Song Kai is doing so well, she must be regretting not leaving with Song Kai, right? I am really speechless, but he still patiently explained again, "I really didn't mean it just now. And I said I don't drink." But Lin Ranran insisted on pouring me some wine, so the accident happened. I sincerely thank you for accompanying Song Kai to practice the questions, and I hope you can let go of your obsession, Lin Ranran said sincerely. I know you have always been thinking about Song Kai. I was completely stunned. He looked at Lin Ranran in confusion. How did you know that I'm obsessed with Song Kai? Did I say something that made you misunderstand? Or was there something wrong with my expression or eyes today? And Ching, stop pretending, Lin Ranran said firmly. Song Kai is doing so well now. It's impossible for you not to feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry. I spoke each word clearly. I chose my own path. I am very satisfied with my current life. Song Kai sneered and didn't believe it at all. I don't want to explain either. There is nothing to explain. They are just unrelated people. Today's meeting was just an accident. If I had known Song Kai would come, I might have avoided him. It's not that there is something that I can't let go of, but there is no need to meet people from the previous life again. People from the previous life should stay in the past. I'll compensate you for the clothes and bags. I didn't want to waste any more time talking to them, so I said, "Send me the price and your bank account number, and I'll transfer the money to you." Compensation? Song Kai asked directly. "Do you know how much Ranran's clothes and bag cost?" The clothes cost 150,000. The bag cost 300,000, not including the accessories. The cheapest price is 450,000. What are you going to use to compensate? I took a deep breath. I told myself not to be angry about Song Kai's contempt for others. The doctor said pregnant women should maintain a good mood. I'm not such a petty person. Just apologize to Ranran and let it go. Song Kai said magnanimously. You can't just apologize. Lin Ranran quickly added, you have to promise in front of all your classmates that you won't have any improper thoughts about Song Kai in the future. 5. Oh, I laughed. I was so angry that I laughed. Looking at Lin Ranran's arrogant look, I picked up the half-spilled wine bottle next to me. The doctor said that pregnant women should not get angry, but they should not hold their breath either. Then, I slowly poured the half bottle of wine onto Lin Ranran's clothes and bag. Lin Ranran was frightened. She looked at me in disbelief, and after a long while she said, "And Ching, are you crazy? What are you doing?" At the same time, Song Kai also protected Lin Ranran behind him and pushed me. Fortunately, the squad leader behind me quickly protected me and stood in front of me. Fearing that Song Kai would impulsively do something unmanageable, he advised, "Song Kai, don't get excited, and Ching, I gave you face, didn't I?" Song Kai said fiercely. "How dare you treat Lin Ranran like this? Who do you think you are? I don't need you to give me face, and I don't think of myself as anyone else, I am just myself," I said coldly. He added, "Since I agreed to pay the compensation, the clothes and bag she was wearing are mine. How I ruined them is my business. Is it your business? Can you afford the compensation?" Song Kai asked me harshly. "Give me the bank account number." I said word by word. "Are you going to lose everything just because of a fight? And Ching, you should have curbed your stubborn temper a long time ago, otherwise we wouldn't be like this today. Give me your bank account number," I repeated, my voice a little louder. "Don't regret it," Song Kai threatened. "Akai, stop talking nonsense to her," Lin Ranran yelled at him. She was about to explode with anger, since she doesn't appreciate it. "Then give her the account number and see if she can afford to pay so much money." Song Kai did not hesitate any longer and said a string of numbers. I entered my bank account number and transferred the money directly, but the system reminded me that the password was wrong. I remember this as the password. After thinking for a while, he entered another password, still prompts an error. I pursed my lips. Is it true that pregnancy makes people stupid for 3 years? Suddenly I can't remember it. Song Kai and Lin Ranran were waiting on the side, and my classmates were looking at me. Watching such a great show. "See, I haven't turned out yet," Lin Ranran laughed first. "And Ching, weren't you quite arrogant just now? Where's the money? Why didn't I see any extra money in Akai's account?" At this moment, Song Kai was also holding his mobile phone in his hand, but there was no notification of the money arriving. "I forgot my password," I explained. "I'm afraid if I make another mistake, my account will be locked." "What a good excuse," Lin Ranran was extremely sarcastic. Song Kai smiled contemptuously. The classmates around me were also whispering. I thought Ching really had to pay compensation. I felt so bad for her. Who is so stupid? 450,000 is half a house. Originally, Song Kai and Lin Ranran didn't care, but Ching insisted on doing it herself. "You've been slapped in the face now, haven't you? You're embarrassed now, aren't you?" Lin Ranran asked me coldly. "So, are you going to write an IOU? How long will it take to pay it back? 1 year? 2 years, or a lifetime?" 10 minutes, I said bluntly. In 10 minutes, Lu Yan finally arrived. "Don't pretend, and Ching, you can't afford to pay me back." Lin Ranran didn't want to waste time with me. "You could have just apologized verbally, but now you have to kneel down and beg me." Everybody is laughing at me, fortunately. The next moment, the door was suddenly pushed open, accompanied by a familiar voice. "Sorry, I'm late." 6. Lu Yan walked in. Everyone looked over there. He apologized. "The plane was delayed. I'm late." Having said that, he walked straight to my side. He looked at the scene in front of him and noticed something strange. "What's wrong?" "It's just a small misunderstanding." The class monitor quickly tried to smooth things over, and said to Lin Ranran and Song Kai, "We are all classmates. There is no need to make things so awkward. Can you give me some face, squad leader?" "It's not that we don't give you face, it's Ching who doesn't know what's good for her," Lin Ranran said arrogantly. I didn't bother with her at first, but she insisted on pouring wine on me. No matter how much I don't care, she still has to give me an explanation. "Right, really?" Lu Yan turned his head and looked at me, with a smile on his face. "You poured wine on someone, Lu Yan. I heard that you had a crush on Ching when you were in school. I don't want to discredit her in front of you, but she is really too much. Just because she was jealous of me and Song Kai being together, she deliberately picked a fight with me and even soiled my clothes and bag. You come from a well-off family, so you should recognize the brand on me, right? Are you jealous of Lin Ranran?" Lu Yan asked me with a frown. "What do you think?" I asked him back. "There's nothing to be jealous of," Lu Yan said to himself. Lin Ranran was a little unhappy. "Lu Yan, is it possible that after so many years, you still like Ching?" "Yes, it has never changed," Lu Yan admitted generously. The other students were very surprised. They don't know that Lu Yan and I are married. In fact, Lu Yan has been pursuing me for many years, but I have never agreed. I don't want to go through a marriage like the one with Song Kai again. Neither of us made any principled mistakes, but it was just suffocating. Later, I gradually discovered that Lu Yan and Song Kai were actually different. There is no need for me to live in the past. Always look forward. Plus, my parents started urging me to fall in love and get married, so she agreed to date Lu Kai, and they got their marriage certificate this year. Because I found out I was pregnant shortly after getting the marriage certificate, we postponed the wedding and didn't have time to inform anyone. It's because of her that I came to the class reunion today. Lu Yan said frankly, and then turned around and asked me, so what's the situation now? I forgot my bank card password. Can you transfer 450,000 yuan to Song Kai's bank card as compensation to Lin Ranran? I replied, give me the card number. Lu Yan took out his cell phone. Lin Ranran was stunned. Song Kai's expression also became visibly ugly. Lu Yan, this is between us and Qing. You'd better not interfere, and Qing, you're going too far. You soiled my clothes and asked Lu Yan to pay for it. Do you really think Lu Yan is a sucker? You treat people like this just because they like you, Lin Ranran said unconvinced. They all knew that Lu Yan came from a well-off family. When we were in high school, he picked us up in a Mercedes-Benz 7. I am happy to do so, Lu Yan said with great pride. I am willing to be needed by her. Lin Ranran was so angry that she couldn't speak. She was going to embarrass me. As for why she dislikes me so much, I don't know. No matter what happened between Song Kai and I happened 800 years ago, so there's no need to worry about it. Is this the card number? Lu Yan entered the bank card number and asked Song Kai to confirm. Song Kai took a look, said nothing with a cold face. Lu Yan did not delay and transferred the money. Song Kai received a text message reminder of the arrival of his account. Lin Ranran turned her head to take a look and said in disbelief, Lu Yan, you really helped Qing pay 450,000. What else? Lu Yan said impatiently, now that I've compensated you, can you go back to your own position? Lin Ranran gritted her teeth. She glanced at Song Kai. Song Kai said nothing and walked away with a gloomy face. Lin Ranran hurriedly followed Song Kai back to their original position. Song Kai picked up the remaining cigar in front of him and started smoking again. The squad leader was inviting everyone to eat and drink. Lu Yan sat next to me, watching Song Kai smoking, frowning. Sorry Song Kai, my wife is pregnant. Please don't smoke indoors. Song Kai was stunned for a moment. I didn't react to Lu Yan's words for a moment. Lin Ranran was also very surprised and asked quickly, your wife? Who is your wife? Isn't it obvious? Lu Yan chuckled. He took me in his arms and introduced me openly. We just got the marriage certificate and haven't held the wedding banquet yet, so we haven't had time to inform everyone. But because Qing got pregnant unexpectedly, the wedding will be postponed. Are you married to Qing? Lin Ranran's voice became shrill. Is there a problem? Lu Yan asked Lin Ranran. Lin Ranran was instantly embarrassed, blushed, and felt ashamed. She just said arrogantly that I was jealous of her and Song Kai being together, and scolded me for being poor. But as everyone knows, Lu Yan was a top student in school during his student days. In addition to his good family background, his academic performance was also among the best in the school. After graduating from university, he started his own business. His current business achievements are no worse than Song Kai, and are even slightly better. It's just that the two people developed in different cities. There is no intersection. But both of them must have heard about each other's achievements among their classmates. That's why Lin Ranran is so ashamed at this moment. The eyes of the classmates around her when they looked at Lin Ranran also changed. Suddenly I felt that she was a bit contemptuous. Of course, I never thought about showing off my relationship with Lu Yan. When I was with him, what I valued was never his money, identity, or status, but the fact that we shared the same ideals. After living my life again, I now deeply understand how important it is for two people to have the same values. Otherwise, no matter how beautiful the love is, it will eventually be buried in the grave of marriage. After announcing my relationship with Lu Yan, all my classmates actively and proactively toasted us. Lu Yan defended himself and said, my wife can't drink alcohol, she can only drink milk. I understand. We won't be like some people who take advantage of their wealth to bully others, a classmate said ambiguously. For a time, the public opinion among classmates changed completely. Lin Ranran's face looked extremely ugly. She looked at Song Kai with a face full of grievance, hoping that Song Kai could speak for her. But Song Kai's eyes were not on her at all. Instead, he looked straight at me. I didn't want to respond to him, but I felt a little uncomfortable with Song Kai's gaze. So I turned to look over. 8. Song Kai's eyes were a little red, like very angry. I don't know what he is angry about. Isn't it the best arrangement for everyone to be well now? Lu Yan seemed to have noticed Song Kai's look. He chuckled and said, Mr. Song, are you dissatisfied with my marriage to Qing? Song Kai withdrew his gaze, crushed the cigar fiercely, drank his wine by himself, and said nothing. Lu Yan didn't waste time on him, he hugged me and gathered with his classmates. Everybody is congratulating us. It is said that after all these years, Lu Yan finally saw the moon through the clouds. They say Lu Yan and I are a match made in heaven. The class reunion was very lively and was not affected by the unpleasant incident just now. In fact, the atmosphere was even better because of Lu Yan's arrival. Everyone also focused their attention on Lu Yan and me, and Song Kai and Lin Ranran, who were originally popular, were ignored. The two of them also became unexpectedly low-key. Even before the class reunion was over, Song Kai slammed the door and left. Lin Ranran hurriedly followed Song Kai and left. What's that sudden look on his face? A classmate looked at Song Kai speechlessly as he left. Another classmate echoed, he thinks he can look down on others just because he has been in a big city for a few years. We are just giving him some face and support because we are classmates. Does he really think he is so great? I really don't envy Song Kai. He is doing well in the big city, but there is no need for him to act so superior in front of his classmates, as if we are inferior to him. That's right, everyone has their own way of life to choose, and no one is nobler than anyone else. The classmates were somewhat dissatisfied with Song Kai's attitude today. I'm used to it. Song Kai looks down on people from small cities from the bottom of his heart. I believe that people from small cities have never seen the world and are not on the same level. After the class reunion, Lu Yan and I sat in the car. Lu Yan drank some wine and was a little drunk. He said sourly, "It seems Song Kai hasn't forgotten you yet." Impossible, I was sure. He just couldn't bear to see me living a good life. In his opinion, if I stayed in a small city, I would waste my time and regret it for the rest of my life. But I didn't expect that I would actually settle down here. He finally realized that I was not angry with him after so many years of separation. Lu Yan didn't say anything more. He just held me tightly in his arms and whispered in my ear, "I should thank him for abandoning you back then." It's hard to say who abandoned whom. I always felt that this was a choice made by both of us, so I never hated Song Kai at all. If he hadn't suddenly appeared in front of me, I would have probably really forgotten him. However, the next day, I received a call from Song Kai, who said, "And Ching, let's meet." I refused directly. "What else is there for us to meet? I'll be waiting for you at Iceland Coffee." After saying that, Song Kai hung up the phone. He seemed certain that I would go. Just like in my previous life, he can accurately grasp my personality. No matter who is right or wrong in our dispute, the final result will definitely be what Song Kai wants. Otherwise, in my previous life, Song Kai wouldn't have asked me to live with him in another place for 10 years. This time, I did as he wished and went. There will also be a little curiosity. What on earth does he want to do? By the way, let me make it clear, we will never have any contact with each other again from now on. I walked into the cafe. The moment Song Kai saw me, I saw a smile of success in his eyes. In his mind, I am so easy to control. I sat down in front of him and asked straight to the point, "What's the matter?" "Cappuccino or mocha?" Song Kai asked me. "Boiled water," I said bluntly. "I'm pregnant, so I can't drink coffee." I saw Song Kai's expression change slightly, but in the end, nothing was said. He asked the waiter to give me a glass of boiled water. He said, "And Ching, I didn't expect you to be with Lu Yan. When you were in school, didn't you say you didn't like him?" "People change," I said coldly. "Didn't you reject Lin Ranran's confession back then? Aren't you still with her now?" "It's because..." Song Kai didn't say the words that were on the tip of his tongue. I wasn't interested either, so I just said, "In marriage, only you know the ups and downs, whether it's right for you or not, only you know it." "What do you mean? Are you saying that our marriage in the previous life was inappropriate?" Song Kai was a little angry. "Why else?" I admitted. "Why else would we go our separate ways?" "I'm just teaching you a lesson," Song Kai said angrily. "I'm just making you understand that your obsession in your previous life was wrong. Once you regret it, come to me and we can reconcile." I just looked at Song Kai, didn't laugh either, not angry either. I just feel helpless. I asked Song Kai in confusion, "Why do you feel so superior?" "Because everything I did was right," Song Kai said firmly. "My choice was right. Look at the students around me. How many of those who stayed in the local area have achieved great success? Yes, Lu Yan has done well, but it's because of his family background. Without the help of his family, Lu Yan would still be useless. Only I, relying on my own hands, have made a name for myself in this international metropolis." Song Kai became more and more excited as he spoke. I drank boiled water and didn't interrupt him. It was not until he saw that I had remained silent that he angrily asked, "Why don't you speak? Everything you said is right. What can I say help you?" "And Ching, there's no need to be so sarcastic. Is it so difficult to admit that others are excellent? 10. Yes, you are indeed excellent, I affirmed. It is not easy to survive on your own in a strange city, let alone Song Kai is doing so well. I saw an uncontrollable smile of satisfaction on Song Kai's face. I continued, I have never thought that your ambition is wrong. I have never denied your achievements. Looking at the development of the world, it really needs positive people like you to create greater value for society. But Song Kai, your choice is right. Does that mean others' choices are necessarily wrong? What qualifications do you have to judge or even ridicule other people's lives? You have broadened your horizons in the big city, given yourself a better life, and made greater contributions to society. This is your responsibility to society, but where is your responsibility towards your family? Have you ever thought about your parents? Don't they want you to stay with them? Yes, the money you give them is enough for their retirement, but when people reach a certain age, they really feel that some things are more important than money. I didn't finish my sentence. Song Kai couldn't listen anymore. He said, and Ching, I don't want to listen to your lectures. Yes. There's no way he would listen to my ideas. In his mind, no one can change what he has determined. That's why I realize so deeply how important it is for two people to have the same values. I won't say any more. The two were silent for a while. Song Kai suddenly said, and Ching, I won't beat around the bush. I came to you today to ask you if you are willing to go back with me. I was stunned for a moment, thinking I had heard it wrong. Song Kai looked at me and sighed, yes. Just consider it as me giving in to you. Come back with me now, and we will pretend that the past 10 years have never happened. The only condition is that you abort the baby in your belly. I was silent for a long time before I digested what Song Kai said. I thought Song Kai asked me to meet him today just to show off how well he was doing and how much I'd lost by leaving him. I came to see him today to tell him that I am living a good life now and have never regretted it for a second. I never thought that he would ask for peace. The two people have long been people from two different worlds. Are you too happy? Song Kai saw that I didn't say anything and asked me with raised eyebrows. Song Kai, are you crazy? I finally couldn't help it and raised my voice a little louder. Song Kai looked extremely ugly. I'm married now, pregnant, and have a very stable and happy family. And you already have a fiancé and have established yourself in the big city. And now you ask me to be with you. I was really speechless. Is it that I can't admit your excellence, or that you can't stand seeing me do well? Song Kai was embarrassed by what I said. He retorted, and Ching, I know you have been angry with me for the past 10 years. Isn't it because I didn't fulfill your wish to go back to your hometown? Okay, I promise you, when I go back and take care of the work, I will accompany you back to your hometown and stay with your parents. I looked at Song Kai in silence. Song Kai thought I was thinking, and said generously, I know it's difficult for you to make a decision right now. I'm leaving the day after tomorrow. Just give me your reply before the day after tomorrow. No need to wait until the day after tomorrow. I will answer you now. 11. Song Kai looked at me, somewhat surprised. He said, have you thought about it? No need to think about it, Song Kai. I have my own life now. What happened between us is long gone. The moment we were reborn, we made the choice. I don't need you to wrong yourself, give up your big city, and give up your pursuit of life. And Ching, you'd better think it over carefully. I won't lower myself to seek peace with you like I did today next time. If your purpose today is just for the whole, then there is no need for us to waste any more time. I stood up directly. Goodbye. Never see you again. And Ching, Song Kai grabbed me. There was a flash of panic in his eyes. I've done this much. What else are you dissatisfied with? Song Kai asked me harshly. What have you done? Just one sentence from you has brought us back together after 10 years of separation. Why, Song Kai? So what do you want from me? Song Kai gritted his teeth and said, I'll try my best to satisfy you. I don't need anything. I just want you to stay away from me. And Ching, enough of your temper. Just think of it as me being naughty. I couldn't explain it to him clearly. And I didn't care what he was thinking. I will continue to be naughty in the future. So Mr. Song, don't waste your time on me. And Ching, what do you want? Song Kai was a little upset. Do you want me to kneel down and beg you? Admit that I still like you. Admit that you are the only one I want in my life. I looked at Song Kai. What he said today overturned my perception of him, seeing me suddenly fall silent. Song Kai softened his tone a lot. Let's just treat these 10 years as a dream. And let's start over. I chose to leave because I was angry with you, not because I didn't love you anymore. How can you be angry? I laughed sarcastically. You just walked the path you wanted to walk, and finally found that you were not so happy, so you wanted to go back and start over. Song Kai was very excited, as if he was angry out of shame. He said, when did I regret it? Do I need to regret my current achievements? I said a word and Lin Ranran wanted to give birth to a child for me immediately. What you think is really not important to me at all, I said calmly. From the moment you followed Lin Ranran to go to study abroad, there is no relationship between us anymore, and Qing, stop pretending. You just can't accept that I left you, you just can't let go of your pride and reconcile with me, but I'm giving you a way out now. I really can't accept that you left with Lin Ranran without hesitation. I admit that I felt lost after my rebirth. I didn't expect Song Kai to make up his mind so quickly and do it so decisively. I thought that after so many years of our relationship, he would be somewhat hesitant, but not at all. During that time I felt like a joke. It was from that moment that I let go of all my obsession with you. I looked at Song Kai. If you hadn't suddenly appeared in front of me now, I wouldn't even remember you. And Qing, I don't care whether you believe it or not. This is what I really think. I hope you will never appear in front of me again and disturb my happy, fulfilling and desirable life. I shook off Song Kai's hand fiercely and walked away without looking back. 12. I thought that since I had talked so much and had such an unpleasant experience with Song Kai, our relationship was completely over. There will never be any intersection again, even if we meet by chance. We will just be strangers, but I didn't expect that half a month later. I received another message from Song Kai, and Qing, I'm back and I'm never leaving again. I was totally stunned. I clearly recognize all the words above, but now I suddenly can't understand their meaning. Can we meet once? I turned off my phone immediately, just treat it as an illusion. But when I got off work, I saw Song Kai standing at the company gate waiting for me. After I became pregnant, Lu Yan actually suggested that I stop working, but I felt that it would be more boring to be alone at home. And it would also make me more prone to prenatal depression, so I insisted on going to work. And Qing, Song Kai walked up to me holding a large bouquet of flowers. I'm really a little disgusted. Wasn't what I said clear enough? I asked him, didn't you want me to let you come back to me just because of one word from me? Now I have taken care of all my business outside the city, and I will come back here to develop with peace of mind in the future. I will never leave again, Song Kai promised. Do you really think that things have turned out like this between us just because I want to go back home and you want to stay away? Otherwise, how could we drift apart when we love each other so much? We drifted apart because we both made our own choices, because we both gave up on each other. I haven't given up on you. Song Kai was very excited. I know you are living a good life now. Lu Yan treats you very well. He is willing to stay with you in the city you like. He can give you excellent living conditions. But I can give you all these now. You know I'm doing fine. Why are you still bothering me? Because the one you really like in your heart is me, Song Kai said firmly. You only chose to be with Lu Yan because of my departure. Now that I'm back, you shouldn't go against your heart. I didn't laugh at Song Kai's self-righteousness. After all, I really loved him back then, which gave him the confidence to say those words. Song Kai, do you know that love will lead to disappointment and disappear? I looked at Song Kai. Song Kai's eyes were red. He probably didn't expect that I would really be so indifferent to him. He was so indifferent that he really couldn't feel any emotion from me. In my last life, I accompanied you to another place for development. You promised me that you would come home, but in the end you said you would never come back. I have never questioned your pursuit of your career, and you have indeed succeeded. I am angry because you should not have lied to me. From the moment you asked me to accompany you to another place, you never thought about coming back. Right, Song Kai made excuses for himself. I was afraid that you wouldn't go with me. I really love you and I'm afraid of losing you. After your rebirth, you followed Lin Ranran to another place without a second thought. Didn't you ever think about losing me? Song Kai was speechless. He said painfully, I thought you loved me enough and would always wait for me. I didn't expect you would really be with another man. Because I'm with other men, you can't accept it, so you come back to me, right? 13, and Qing, I really like you. Lin Ranran and I are just together for a short period of time. The person I love from the beginning to the end is you, Song Kai said affectionately. The more I listened, the more disgusted I felt. You don't like Lin Ranran, but you wasted 10 years of someone else's youth. You said you like me, but you insisted that I submit to you. Now you find that everything is out of your control. You start to panic and regret. Don't you think your behavior is dirty? I'm sorry. Song Kai suddenly apologized. He didn't seem to know how to defend himself. I'm sorry, and Qing, can you forgive me this time? I will never let you down again. Song Kai took out the ring from his arms. It was the wedding ring he said he would give to Lin Ranran. He said, and Qing, do you still remember this ring? We didn't buy it when we got married because we didn't have enough money, but I promised you that I would give it to you. I came back this time because I wanted to get back together with you. I bought this ring especially for you. Do you know why Lin Ranran targeted you at the class reunion? Because she knew that I wanted to get back together with you. I laughed when I heard it. It turned out that at the class reunion, he wanted to get back together with me, but the way he got back together was not to be nice to me proactively, but to intimidate me. Let me go back and beg him with a smug face. I didn't want to say more, but looking at the ring, I couldn't help but say, I remember in my last life, you didn't give me any money even though you had it. I was too busy in my previous life. No, it's only after you lose something that you realize you should cherish it, even if it's my fault. It's all my fault. And Ching, can you give me another chance? Marry me and we'll start over. This time, I'll give you everything you want. Speaking of, Song Kai knelt down and proposed to me at the company gate. Maybe I loved him too much in my previous life, which is why he was so confident that as long as he came back, we would be back to normal. I shook my head and rejected it coldly. There is no chance. And Ching, I really gave up the development of the big city for you. That's your choice. It has nothing to do with me. I interrupted him, and I've said it before. The city is not the main reason for our separation. It's your actions time and time again that make me feel disappointed. I'll change it. You won't change. Everything you do has a purpose. I didn't need to show him mercy. You know I loved you very much, so you can use my feelings to deceive me unscrupulously. You know that even if I find out in the end, I will forgive you. You bought the ring not because I liked it, but because you wanted to keep me in this way, because you found that I really don't care about you anymore. You chose to stay now, not for me, but because your parents are old, and your mother suddenly fell ill. They need you to come back and stay with them to take care of them, but Lin Ranran will not stay here with you, so you thought of me. I said it calmly, even laughed, because I realized that I really didn't care at all. Even though he knew that Song Kai's motives were all impure, he would not have any emotional fluctuations. I watched Lu Yan walk towards me from a distance. I know he is waiting for me. He respects all my decisions. He also has enough confidence. Because of how good he is to me, Song Kai can never compare to him. 14. Wife, can we go now? Lu Yan asked me while hugging my body. I nodded. He didn't even look at Song Kai anymore. We turned and left. I made up my mind to stay, really because of you, not Lin Ranran, nor my parents, Song Kai said loudly behind us. I stopped and said, even without these so-called purposes, I can't be with you again, Song Kai. I don't love you anymore. I just don't love you anymore, really. I can't remember any of the good times I had with Song Kai. The happiness I see now is within my sight. They were all given by Lu Yan. After that, I never gave Song Kai any chance to get close to me. I blocked his mobile number and never answered any calls from unknown numbers. I submitted my resignation. Originally, Lu Yan felt sorry for me working outside and said that he could support me. He was really worried that I would be bored at home so I could go to his company. I refused before because I didn't want to become too dependent on him. Now, I deeply feel that we are a family. A few months later, I gave birth to a daughter. Half a year later, Lu Yan and I had a grand wedding. Many old classmates were invited, of course not Song Kai. When Lu Yan and I went to toast at our classmates' table, we heard a classmate say, Song Kai hasn't been out of town for more than a year. I heard that he and Lin Ranran broke up. Song Kai's mother passed away a few days ago. Another classmate said, fortunately, Song Kai stayed at home with her for more than a year. Otherwise how could I feel at ease? I went to the funeral a few days ago. Song Kai looked very different. He was not as radiant as he was at our class reunion last year. He looked lifeless. It is said that when his mother died, her biggest regret was that she did not have a grandson. Could it be that Song Kai has been obsessed with Lin Ranran? No, a female classmate whispered. Lin Ranran was willing to stay in her hometown for Song Kai, and took the initiative to ask Song Kai for peace, but was rejected by Song Kai. Lin Ranran said that Song Kai could not forget. She glanced at me and didn't finish her words. I know it's not appropriate to say such things in this situation. I pretended not to hear anything and calmly drank my wedding wine and greeted the guests. After the wedding, Lu Yan and I returned home tired. I was too tired to move. Lu Yan is sorting out the gifts we received. Then he suddenly called me, and Ching, there is a private red envelope for you. Lu Yan gave it to me. I saw the name Song Kai on the red envelope. I didn't see him today. I looked at Lu Yan. Lu Yan smiled and said, I didn't see it either. I opened the red envelope and saw a ring inside. There was also a letter and a gift worth about 888 yuan. I opened the letter. 15. And Ching, happy wedding. I know you didn't want to see me, but I couldn't help but come to your wedding. I shouldn't have let you find out. I just want to come and see you, to see if you are really happy. Then I'll probably give up. I'll probably really face reality. You really don't love me anymore. Not in love at all. I still arrogantly thought that as long as I looked back, you would be waiting for me there. You are absolutely right. When I was reborn, I left not just to be angry with you. I always thought that without you, I could be happy with anyone else, and I could still live a good life. In the past few years, I have indeed enjoyed unprecedented freedom. I don't have to consider your mood. I don't have to be forced to eat breakfast by you. I won't be scolded by you for coming back drunk from social events, and I don't have to be nagging by you to go back to my hometown every day. But suddenly one day, I began to miss you. I miss the meals you cooked. I miss you sitting in the living room waiting for me no matter how late I get home from social events. I miss you holding me tightly in your arms. I've thought about you for a long time, but I never came to see you. I stubbornly believe that you should be the one to give in between us, because your choice is wrong, until I finally couldn't bear it anymore. I want to be with you so much that I even often call Lin Ranran by your name, so I came back and attended the class reunion. When I saw you dressed simply, I naively thought I won. You are having such a hard time. If I ask you to come back to me now, you will definitely not refuse, but reality slapped me hard in the face. The way you look at me, there's no love in it. I thought I could use money to suppress you, but I didn't expect that you married Lu Yen and you were pregnant. Not only do you have enough money, you also have enough love. I started to panic. I didn't know what to do to get you back to me. I always told myself that you chose Lu Yen only because you were angry with me. The person you love is me. You loved me so much in my previous life. It's impossible for you to just stop loving me, so I came to you shamelessly. I think I have a chance of winning. I can give you everything that Lu Yen can give you, and you love me more, and you will be moved by me. Now that I think about it, I was really just bringing shame upon myself. Why should I abandon you and still feel justified in thinking that you will wait for me here forever? I'm really selfish and dark. He hugged Lin Ranran, looked me up and down with a frivolous look in his eyes, and a hint of disdain flashed in his eyes. Man, will I know that no matter what I say, it's useless. I'm just really sad, and Ching, my heart hurts so much. I went to the hospital to see you on the day you gave birth. I saw Lu Yan holding your child. And I saw the joy of being a father for the first time on his face. I thought of the unborn child we had in our previous life. I was really looking forward to his coming, and I was ready to be a father. But again, I missed it. Sorry, Anqing. Sorry, I wish you happiness forever. I looked at the letter helplessly, with mixed feelings. Song Kai's current mood is probably the same as how I felt when I saw Song Kai leave without looking back when I was just reborn. Even though I always tell myself to respect the other person's choice, but when the night is quiet, I will still break down, feel unwilling, feel pain, and feel unbearable. But now, it's all over. I don't know how long it will take Song Kai to get over it. Really, it doesn't matter anymore. I threw the letter into the trash. I didn't see the words on the back of the envelope, and Ching, I will be waiting for you outside your wedding room tonight. Lu Yen watched my actions and smiled at me from the side. He said, wife, a night of love is worth 1,000 gold. We turned out the lights, the long night, no longer alone. Story 2. After a car accident, I was sent back to my high school days. As soon as I returned, I saw my elder brother leading a group of wealthy young men bullying Gu Jin. My elder brother threw Gu Jin's textbooks into the lake, grabbed his collar, and laughed arrogantly. Come on, make a dog's bark and let us hear it. Who would have thought that this penniless young man in front of us would later become a business tycoon, drive my family into bankruptcy, and force me to be his canary, having a second chance at life? I must stop my elder brother from courting disaster and, at the same time, try my best to please the vengeful Mr. Gu. 01. I was reborn, and when I woke up, I saw my elder brother bullying Gu Jin. My elder brother, Zhang Baichen, is a young master from a wealthy family. He bullies others by relying on his family's power and is really not a good person. Zhang Baichen threw Gu Jin's textbooks into the lake, grabbed his collar, and asked him to bark like a dog. The surrounding classmates let out harsh laughter, while Gu Jin endured it without saying a word, until Zhang Baichen sneered evilly. Gu Jin, I heard that your mother is a foolish woman who picks up trash. I don't know which man bullied her and made her give birth to you. You're a dirty and disgusting bastard. Just being around you makes me feel cheap. Suddenly, Gu Jin was like a rabid wild dog, his eyes bloodshot, and he punched my elder brother in the face. My elder brother had practiced fighting hard and had never lost a fight before, yet, he was caught off guard by Gu Jin's punch. Gu Jin fought without any rules, relying solely on his ferocity. When he went crazy, he didn't care about his own life. This scared my elder brother's lackeys so much that they didn't dare to step forward. Soon, my elder brother was at a disadvantage. I had just been reborn and was still digesting the scene in front of me. Like someone waking up from a dream, I rushed forward and hugged Gu Jin's arm. Stop fighting. In my memory, Gu Jin often worked out, and his arms were stronger than those of an ordinary teenager. Every time the man came to the villa to see me, I couldn't get any sleep. Even crying and begging for mercy didn't help. It would only make him angrier. Those memories were deeply ingrained in my bones. When our eyes met, I instinctively feared him. Gu Jin's body visibly stiffened. The ferocity on his face hadn't faded away, but he finally stopped. His gaze shifted to my arm, and his black eyes trembled slightly. There were several scars across my white arm, which were whipped by my father with a belt. Why was I beaten? I remembered. It was because Gu Jin got the first place in the exam, and I dropped to the second place. My father punished me for that. My father, Zhang Jianming, advocated elite education and had very strict requirements for my elder brother and me. He didn't allow me to lose to a poor boy. My elder brother thus hated Gu Jin and took the lead in bullying him. In my previous life, although I had dissuaded my elder brother from doing this, I was also somewhat resentful and unwilling. In the end, I didn't intervene in this matter. So when Gu Jin took his revenge later, I was also punished and became a little thing for him to relieve his desires. I pulled down my sleeve to cover the scars. Gu Jin silently jumped into the water to fish out the textbooks. On the other side, a group of people were fawning over Zhang Baichen. Zhang Baichen covered his nose that was bleeding nonstop, burning with anger. He wanted to fight again. I stopped him, feeling both distressed and angry. Brother, stop here. I can't stop. I will definitely find a chance to teach him a good lesson next time. Zhang Baichen spat out a mouthful of blood foam and walked towards the infirmary surrounded by his followers. I was about to follow him to the infirmary. When I looked back, I saw Gu Jin climbing onto the shore. There were injuries on his face, and the textbooks in his hand were already soaked and damaged. He clenched his fists. The blue veins on his arms were clearly visible, and water was dripping from his body. Well, he was a proper beautiful young man with battle injuries. Why should I accompany this annoying brother? The most important thing now is to quench the little spark of hatred in Gu Jin's heart. 02. I sneaked behind Gu Jin to confirm his home address, and then I ran to the pharmacy to buy medicine for treating wounds and band-aids. I knocked on his door tremblingly. It was an aunt who opened the door. When the aunt saw me, she smiled and pulled me into the house. Come and have some dumplings. Gu Jin's home was an old, shabby, and small house. The furnishings were simple, but it was very tidy. Gu Jin heard the commotion and came out of the bathroom. He was only wearing a pair of jeans and no shirt. The young man had a tall and slender figure. Due to working all year round, there was a layer of beautiful muscles on his body. He was thin but not weak. What are you doing here? This is for you. I pointed at his face. You need to deal with the wound. No need. You're not welcome here. Gu Jin grabbed the back of my collar and lifted me out. The aunt grabbed my arm and said stubbornly, have some dumplings. My arm hurt from being grabbed by the aunt. Gu Jin immediately let go of me, looking a bit irritated. My mother, if you don't mind, stay for dinner. Otherwise, she'll make a fuss for a long time. I happily agreed, and the aunt went to the kitchen to serve the dumplings. Gu Jin put on his clothes, and the three of us sat together for the meal. Many of the dumplings in the bowl were broken during cooking. The chives, eggs, and flour were mixed together. They didn't look good and were a bit salty. I had lived a life of luxury since I was a child. Even when my family went bankrupt later and I was forced to be with Gu Jin, he had never treated me badly in terms of material things. Such unpalatable dumplings were really hard for me to swallow. However, Gu Jin ate them with great relish. The aunt stroked his head. Her innocent face was full of kindness. Happy birthday, Xiao Jin. Grow up well and be obedient. The coldness in Gu Jin's eyes dissipated. Looking at his mother, his eyes were very gentle. I looked at him and couldn't help but smile. If you can't get used to it, give it to me. You don't have to force yourself. My mother's mind is a bit confused, and she doesn't cook very well. I can eat it. I ate a small half bowl. I really couldn't eat any more, so I quietly pushed the bowl over. He accepted it all and finished it in 2 or 3 bites. Gu Jin seemed quite easy to get along with at this moment. Taking the opportunity, I said, my elder brother was too excessive today. I apologize to you on his behalf. Gu Jin's face immediately turned cold. He is him, and you are you. It has nothing to do with you. So, Gu Jin is a person who clearly distinguishes between grudges and kindness. He won't take his anger out on me because of my elder brother. Then, later, what exactly did my elder brother do that was so excessive that it made Gu Jin hate the Zhang family so much? It made Gu Jin lie low for many years. It wasn't enough to drive my family bankrupt. He also made my father and elder brother get involved in lawsuits, burdened with heavy debts, and with nowhere to make a living. And I was also forcefully possessed by him every time I interacted with him. I could feel his overwhelming hatred for the Zhang family. 03. The next day, I got up very early and put the new textbooks in Gu Jin's desk compartment. When I turned around, I bumped into a hard chest. Due to the height difference, I only reached his chest. I was startled and leaned backward. The young man put his arm around my waist. You got the first place in the exam and still come so early, you're really competitive. I pushed him away in a panic. I'll go and do some practice questions right away. I definitely won't lose to you next time. Gujin grabbed the back of my collar and glanced at the textbooks. Thank you. Okay, you're welcome. I left quickly with an awkward gait, touching my hot cheeks. Why was I blushing? He's just a young lad who hasn't grown up yet. I lay on the desk. It wasn't because of shyness that I blushed. I had a fever. Zhang Baichen is going to mess with Gujin again. He tricked Gujin's foolish mother into coming to the school to collect the garbage. What does Gujin's foolish mother look like? Let's go and take a look. I ran out. There were a lot of people gathered beside the school store. Zhang Baichen threw a soda bottle at the aunt's feet. Trash picker. Pick it up. The aunt hunched over with a look of fear on her face. She was very scared and made a whimpering sound. When I arrived, I smelled the stench of urine. Ha ha ha, Brother Chen, you scared her so much that she peed her pants. What bad luck. Zhang Baichen threw another soda bottle at the aunt's feet, and the glass shattered everywhere. Brother, stop. I rushed to the aunt's side. She was still leaking urine. A group of people surrounded us, watching the scene. I took off my coat, tied it around her waist, and took her hand. Auntie, don't be afraid. I'll take you. Bang. Gujin rushed out and kicked Zhang Baichen in the lower back. Zhang Baichen fell onto the broken glass. Gujin's kick was so powerful that Zhang Baichen couldn't stand up for a while. He wasn't a cowardly person. He had endured before just for the sake of studying. On the contrary, Gujin's character was actually a bit crazy. I remembered once when I went to a cocktail party with him, someone made improper remarks about me. He flew into a rage and broke the person's ribs. At this moment, Gujin's eyes were bloodshot, and there was a fierce aura of a desperate man about him. He picked up the broken bottle and walked towards Zhang Baichen. Zhang Baichen was scared. What are you going to do? What are you all standing there for? He's crazy. Hurry up and stop him for me. No one dared to stop a crazy man who didn't care about his own life. Actually, I was also afraid of him, but I had to stop him. I rushed forward and hugged his waist tightly, burying my face in his chest with my eyes closed. Gujin, don't. The muscles on his body were tense, and his breathing was heavy. I started crying. Don't do anything stupid. Take your mother home quickly. I stroked his back, trying to soothe his rampaging soul. Pat. Gujin finally threw away the glass, and blood dripped from his palm. I watched as he supported his mother and walked away until I couldn't see them anymore. In my previous life, this incident didn't happen today, brother. Zhang Baichen pushed me away, his eyes sinister. He's finished. My heart skipped a beat. Clearly, I had stopped my elder brother from courting disaster twice. Why did I have an ominous premonition that our fate hadn't changed and was still sliding towards the predetermined ending? 04. I knocked on Gujin's door. He was wearing rubber gloves and washing my coat. The aunt was asleep in the room. I grabbed his wrist and took off the gloves. His hand was simply wrapped with gauze, and it was still bleeding. Are you a masochist? Your hand is like this, and you're still washing clothes. I felt dizzy for a moment and fell into his arms, losing consciousness. When I woke up, it was already getting dark. The lights weren't on in the hospital room. Gujin was sitting by the bedside, and his rough palm touched my forehead. My head was burning, and I was so dizzy that I thought I was before my rebirth. Gujin hated the Zhang family and only regarded me as a plaything, humiliating my father and elder brother by keeping me as his captive. However, every time I was sick, Gujin would be particularly gentle with me. He would patiently feed me medicine and food, like a male nanny. Patients are always delicate, so I took the initiative to hug his neck and acted coquettishly. I feel so uncomfortable. Hug me. After a long while, his voice was hoarse. Zhang Yihuan, I'm Gujin. Then, I woke up completely. I let go of him, feeling so embarrassed that my toes curled up. I actually mistook the young Gujin for Mr. Gu. Gujin turned on the light, thinking about how I had just acted coquettishly in a very soft voice towards a young man I wasn't very familiar with. I really didn't know where to put my face. Gujin had no expression on his face, but his ears were so red that they seemed to be bleeding. In my previous life, no matter how intense our arguments were, he rarely showed any expression. The sign to tell whether he was happy or not was whether his ears were red enough. I covered my face. What are you thinking about? Don't think nonsense. Okay, I won't. 05. After my fever subsided, I rested at home for half a day and didn't go to school until the afternoon. As soon as I entered the classroom, my deskmate, Zhao Xiaoxing, gossiped with me that Gujin you hate so much was caught stealing the class funds. There were two rumors in her words. First, I don't hate him. I want to please him. Second, Gujin wouldn't steal money. I remembered that in my previous life, there was indeed this incident of Gujin stealing the class funds. At that time, I went to the teacher's office to hand in my homework. His homeroom teacher slapped the table. Gujin, you've really disappointed me. I know your family is poor, but you can't steal money. You have talent but no virtue. You'll be a scourge in society even if you have abilities. The girl beside them, who should be the class life committee member, chimed in. That's right, if you don't have money, you can tell us. We can donate money to help you. You really didn't have to steal. Gujin stood straight, his thin lips tightly pursed, with a look of contempt and indifference on his face. I despised him in my heart. What was the use of getting better grades than me? Without good character, he was nothing. Suddenly, Gujin saw me, and his face changed drastically. He strode up to me. It's not like this. I didn't steal. I didn't want to pay attention to him and turned around to leave. Gujin went crazy and grabbed my arm with great strength. The injury on my arm hadn't healed yet, and I struggled. Whether you stole or not has nothing to do with me. Let me go. The teacher came over to pull him away, but he held on tighter and tighter and just wouldn't let go. Gujin fell into a state of paranoia. He stared at me intently, his eyes red. Zhang Yihuan, what on earth do I have to do for you to believe me? I really didn't steal the money. I didn't understand. Why was Gujin so persistent in wanting me to believe him? I didn't even really know him. I was almost scared to tears and said timidly, I believe you. Let go quickly. It hurts so much where you're holding me. Finally, he let go. In my previous life, the disciplinary action result was that Gujin received a warning for the demerit. 06. Remembering Gujin's almost desperate look at that time, my heart ached. I immediately went to find Gujin and met my annoying brother in the corridor. Zhang Baichen had his arm around a girl, who was the class life committee member of Gujin's class. Huan, this is your new sister-in-law. After Zhang Baichen left, I smiled at the girl. Tell me quickly, how did you help my brother mess with Gujin? The girl wanted to curry favor with me and said proudly, I put the class funds in his desk compartment, and then I pretended that the class funds were missing. We searched the desk compartments one by one, and we caught him red-handed. Sure enough, Gujin was framed by my elder brother. I took out my phone and waved it in front of the girl. I just recorded it. You have 10 minutes to confess to the teacher, otherwise I'll play this recording on a loop at the school radio station. Your elder brother told me to do this. Why are you helping an outsider? I imitated Mr. Gu's expression and said coldly, you still have 9 minutes and 40 seconds. The girl looked panicked and ran towards the teacher's office. Actually, I didn't record it just now. I was bluffing her. During the second class break, the news spread. The class life committee member of Gujin's class went to the teacher and said that the class funds had been found. The money in Gujin's desk compartment was his own, and they had misunderstood him before. Zhang Baichen called me to the rooftop. Zhang Yihuan, are you crazy? If he hadn't taken your first place, would you have been beaten by Dad? I was avenging you, but why are you siding with an outsider? I let out a sigh and said, it's my dad's psychological problem that he hit me. What does it have to do with Gujin? You're the mastermind behind framing him for stealing money. By handling it this way, I'm already showing partiality to protect you. Zhang Baichen, don't bully a young man just because he's poor. If you bully him now, he will take revenge on us in the future. Zhang Baichen looked unconvincing and said, just him. As things stand now, Zhang Baichen's intention to torment Gujin is no longer to avenge me. Violence is like a drug addiction. Once it starts, there will be no bottom line. Give me your phone. Zhang Baichen took my phone, threw it against the wall, and stomped on it twice with force. Don't interfere next time I deal with him. In my previous life, I went abroad to study before finishing my senior year of high school, so I don't know how Zhang Baichen plotted against Gujin later. 07. The wall of the rooftop was curved, blocking the view. After Zhang Baichen left, Gujin came out from the other side of the rooftop. I was stunned. Had he heard everything just now? Gujin rolled up my sleeves. The higher he rolled, the denser the scars became. My skin was very fair, making the scars look even more ferocious. Besides your arm, where else do you have injuries on your body? He only hit my arm. I want to dance. And my dad was afraid that others would see the injuries. I looked into Gujin's eyes. His eyes were red, and there were tears in them. Mr. Gu, aren't you going to cry, then? Gujin pressed my head against his chest and hugged me. Does your dad often hit you? I evaded his question and said brightly, I'm not the same person I used to be. If he hits me, I will fight back. I'll call the police or tell the elders in our clan, and he definitely won't dare to do it again. When I was young, I didn't dare to resist because I was afraid that my dad would abandon me if I did, but now, My soul is already 28 years old. I'm no longer afraid of patriarchal power and know how to fight back. There's a third option. The young man's tears dripped onto my neck, which was enough to shock me for a long time. Tell me, and I'll beat him up. Hitting people is against the law, then let it be against the law. I smiled and stroked his back, touched by the young man's enthusiasm. 08, Gujin picked up the broken phone. I'll fix it for you. Can you fix it even though it's broken like this? Yeah, after school. Gujin and I went home together. He took out a toolbox and fixed my phone for me. He had all the necessary parts. He soldered the circuit board and even replaced the display screen with a new one for me. You're so amazing. It's not difficult. I learned phone repair to earn money. Besides going to school, Gujin also had to earn money to support his family. Then how much should I pay you, Master Gu? I won't charge you. Then I invite you to watch me dance. I'm going to participate in a dance competition next Saturday. Will you come? Yes. 09. The dance competition was held in the Opera House. To my surprise, I saw Qin Zishu in the first row of the audience. In my previous life, we met when our two families had a dinner together. In this life, the time of our first encounter was advanced, and the scene was also different. Memories of my previous life came flooding back. Qin Zishu at the age of 18 loved me very much and followed me to study abroad. He courted me very romantically for a year, and we got together naturally. However, the good times didn't last long. In the third year of our relationship, he cheated on me. After I exposed him, he said, I just can't manage to love only you. It's not that I don't love you anymore. You will always be Mrs. Qin. What are you still fussing about? I broke up with him decisively, feeling that I had wasted 3 years of my youth. When I saw Qin Zishu at the age of 18 again, I felt physically uncomfortable, and my hands and feet turned cold. Gujin supported me. He followed my gaze but didn't ask anything. Instead, he helped me to the backstage. Gujin poured me a cup of hot water. Do you feel better? Yeah, I'm already okay. You can go and sit in the audience. I'm about to go on stage. I changed into my dance clothes and walked onto the stage. Gujin sat in the back row, hidden in the light and shadow, but I still saw him at a glance. I smiled at him and somehow felt at ease. Dance, I want to win. When the music started, I forgot all the entanglements of my previous and present lives, focused on the world of dance, and showed off my beauty. As soon as the dance ended, there was thunderous applause. The chandelier in the opera house lit up. I looked at Gujin, and we looked at each other from a distance, with my eyes misty with tears. Gujin was stunned and frowned as he looked at me. The audience thought that I was crying because I was so immersed in the dance and moved by the story of the dance music. In fact, I was crying out of joy. This dance was dedicated to Gujin. I wanted him to see how beautiful I was in my teenage years. In my previous life, he never saw me dance even once. He really missed out. I was very excited right after the dance. I heard the obsession buried deep in my heart. Gujin, how can you not love me? I don't want to be your canary. I don't want to be a little thing for you to satisfy your physical needs. I want to be your white moonlight, making you respect and love me, but reluctant to touch me. I also want to be a seductive fairy who bewitches you, possessing all your desires and making you unable to leave me, never be able to leave me. After being reborn, it's true that I want to stop Zhang Baichen from courting disaster. And it's true that I want to protect Gujin, but I'm like a ghost. I made a wish to the gods to ease the resentment in my heart. What the soul in this teenage body truly wants is to have all of the love of my previous life's lover. 10. I won the first place. Qin Zishu, as the representative of the sponsor, came onto the stage to present the award to me. Yuri Huan, right, Uncle Zhang recently asked my father for investment, and our two families will have more interactions in the future. Qin Zishu took out his phone. Looking determined, is it convenient for you to give me your phone number? Scumbag, go away, go away, go away. It's not convenient. I don't want to get to know you. I saw Gujin walking to the side of the stage, like a little crazy person. I directly jumped off the stage. Gujin's eyes showed panic, but he caught me firmly. I wrapped my arms around his neck. Mr. Gu, was my dance look good? His heart was pounding like a drum. His ears were red as if they were bleeding. And he looked at me without blinking. It was beautiful. My dance dress was a backless one, made of thin fabric, which showed off my figure very well. Gujin took off his black hoodie and put it on me. He pulled the zipper up high, almost choking me. Gujin looked at Qin Zishu on the stage, tilted his head, and his eyes were fierce and wild, just like a little wolf dog. 11. On the way back, I was in an excited state all the time. Yihuan, let me treat you to a meal to celebrate your award. Okay, what do you want to eat? Barbecued meat. Let's bring Auntie with us. The three of us sat in a barbecue restaurant. Gujin was busy grilling the meat and feeding me and his mother. Under the table, my knee was touching his knee. Gujin's ears became redder and redder, and he looked at me thoughtfully. I wrapped a large piece of streaky pork with lettuce. My mouth was stuffed like a little hamster. Looking like an innocent and ignorant teenage girl, Auntie ate very gracefully. Judging from her eyebrows and eyes, she must have been a beauty when she was young. That's why she gave birth to such a handsome son as Gujin. Auntie, do you remember who I am? Auntie smiled shyly and said seriously, you're Xiaojin's wife. Cough cough cough. Get married on the spot. Xiaojin likes you very much, Auntie said and took out a ring to put it on my finger. My Xiaojin is a stubborn child. Once he likes someone, he will never change his heart. You two should live a good life together. I looked at the huge plastic ring on my ring finger. Was this a toy for children to play with? Mom, she's not my wife. She's my classmate, Zhang Yihuan. Gujin looked up at me and coughed dryly. Don't mind. My mom is just speaking without thinking. I took a sip of water tactically. Auntie is very cute. Suddenly, I remembered that Auntie passed away from illness very early, so I reminded him. As people get older, their bodies are more prone to problems. You should take Auntie for regular medical checkups. Gujin took it to heart and nodded in agreement. 12. My annoying brother and I are fraternal twins, and we celebrate our birthdays together every year. Zhang Baichen held a birthday party and invited a group of friends to come and have fun. I wore a beautiful dress and put on a light makeup. When I walked into the private room, I saw Qin Zishu. Zhang Baichen put his arm around Qin Zishu's shoulder. Huan, young Master Qin arranged this birthday party for you. Do you like it? The room was filled with roses, decorated in a dreamy and romantic way. Qin Zishu walked up to me with an exquisite jewelry box. Huan, happy birthday. This is a gift for you. Open it and take a look. If I had known he was coming, I wouldn't have come. It's so annoying. Everyone cheered and clapped, and the atmosphere was warm and ambiguous. I was about to pick up the fruit wine on the table and pour it on him. At this moment, Gujin walked in carrying a fruit plate. It turned out that Gujin was working here. Zhang Baichen deliberately chose this place to hold the birthday party and continued to test the limits of courting disaster. Yo, isn't this the top student Gu? You're serving dishes here. The wealthy young men around burst into laughter, acting as superior onlookers. How much money can you earn a day by serving dishes? Zhang Baichen took out a stack of 100 yuan bills and threw them at Gujin. It's my birthday today. If you serve me well and make me happy, all this money will be yours. My fists clenched, and I laughed out of extreme anger. No, I'm very satisfied with him. He belongs to me tonight. In front of everyone with their jaws dropped in surprise, I grabbed Gujin's hand and walked angrily to the lobby. My brother is brainless. Don't take it to heart. I patted his shoulder. The young man looked quite handsome in a suit, with his broad shoulders, narrow waist, and long legs. He had a bit of the air of Mr. Gu, the gentle scoundrel. Okay, you can go and get back to work. I'm leaving. Gujin grabbed my wrist, tore off his bow tie, and bent down to smile at me. That smile was really beautiful, with a bit of a cute and naughty look. Yihuan, I belong to you tonight. Me, was he serious? I thought Gujin would do something fancy. But he took me to buy groceries and then cooked for me at home. Why do you look so disappointed? All the high-quality ingredients on this table cost him 1,000 yuan. Even considering the price level 10 years later, spending 1,000 yuan on a meal is still very luxurious. I picked up the tenderest piece of meat from the East Star grouper and gave it to Auntie. I just think you're selling yourself a bit short. I'm willing to. After the meal, Gujin took out a cake and carefully inserted the candles. Auntie was like a child and clapped happily. Happy birthday, daughter-in-law. Early, Gujin quickly covered Auntie's mouth. Make a wish, have a baby soon. Auntie, you really are something. I closed my eyes and made a wish. He said, Zhang Yihuan, happy 18th birthday. I wished that every year in the future, Gujin would accompany Zhang Yihuan to celebrate her birthday. 13. The next day, I heard that there would be a basketball-friendly match between No. 1 Middle School and Jialan High School. Gujin participated in it, so I signed up for the cheerleading team. Zhao Xiaoxing was in charge of organizing the cheerleading team. The cheerleading uniforms she prepared were miniskirts paired with tight short-sleeved tops. When we got on the coach, all the players were in an uproar. I saw that the seat next to Gujin was empty, so I sat beside him. Gujin was wearing headphones. Leaning his head back against the seat and resting with his eyes closed, his jawline was smooth, his Adam's apple was prominent, and he was wearing a basketball jersey. The muscle lines on his arms were strong, exuding a youthful and sexy charm. I poked the back of his hand. Can you share one of your earphones with me? Gujin opened his eyes and looked at me. His gaze lingered on my chest for a moment and then quickly moved away. He took off his earphones and handed them to me. I leaned close to his ear and joked, "I'm dressed in a spicy girl style today, does it look good?" Gujin closed his eyes and ignored me, but his ears turned red. It was familiar jazz music. His taste hadn't changed over the years. In the lazy singing, memories welled up in my heart. In the villa, the man held me and kissed me passionately. "Are you in a good mood today?" Gujin touched the back of my neck. "Not bad, then. Can I ask you for a favor?" "Go ahead." "My brother was tricked by his friend and owes 3 million yuan in usury. My dad was so angry about this that he got sick. Can you help my brother?" Gujin immediately turned cold, let go of me, and got up to put on his clothes. Seeing that he was about to leave, I got out of bed barefoot. "My brother bullied you, and he was in the wrong. You've already taken your revenge. Can't you spare him a way out?" Gujin picked me up in his arms and let out a tired sigh. "Yihuan, for your sake, I've already spared them a way out." The man kissed away my tears. "Don't cry, it's just 3 million yuan. This is the last time." I was very happy and took the initiative once, but when I woke up in the middle of the night, Gujin wasn't by my side. I went downstairs in my pajamas. Gujin was sitting in the living room drinking. In the huge living room, he looked even more lonely. There was hatred and pain on Gujin's face. He clenched the wine glass tightly. The blue veins on his hand were throbbing. With a crisp sound, the wine glass shattered, and his hand was bleeding, but he didn't seem to care. As if he had found an outlet to release his pain, he picked up the broken glass and made a cut on his arm. It turned out that helping my brother made him so painful. I covered my mouth, hid behind the staircase railing, and tears streamed down my face. "Do you get carsick?" I came back to my senses and met the young man's concerned gaze. My face must have been very pale. Gujin unscrewed a bottle of mineral water and handed it to me. "If you feel really uncomfortable, you can lean on my shoulder." I leaned on his shoulder, and the knot in my heart quickly dissipated. 14. Jialan High School is a prestigious school, and the facilities of the basketball court are very advanced. The stadium was filled with students. As the host, Jialan High School had a great home court advantage. Qin Zishu was the captain of the Jialan High School basketball team, and he was also the school heartthrob. All the girls in the stadium were shouting his name. Qin Zishu saw me and ran up to me. "Huan Huan, you look really beautiful today." "Don't call me Huan Huan. I'm not familiar with you." Qin Zishu grabbed my arm. "Do you have some misunderstanding about me?" Gujin pried Qin Zishu's hand away and said coldly, "Don't touch girls inappropriately. She said she's not familiar with you." Qin Zishu walked away with a face. Before the game started, the cheerleading team went onto the court to perform a cheerleading routine. "Who is that girl leading the exercise in No. 1 middle school? She's so pretty." "She's Zhang Huan, the school beauty of No. 1 middle school. She's so cute." "Ah," she looked at me. "Baby Yihuan, brother loves you." After I finished the cheerleading routine and went off the court, Gujin and his team came on. When we passed by each other, I said to Gujin, "Come on." "Okay," Zhao Xiaoxing said excitedly. "When you were doing the cheerleading, everyone was fascinated by you. Did you see that?" The cheerleaders from Jialan High School were so angry that their noses were almost crooked. I looked at the cheerleading team of Jialan High School. Sure enough, those girls were glaring at me with malicious eyes. I didn't care and focused on watching Gujin play basketball. Damn. Is Gujin this fierce? His playing style is so aggressive. Qin Zishu can't even touch the ball. He has such good physical strength. I just realized today that Gujin is so handsome. Listening to others' praises of Gujin, I felt proud. He is indeed excellent. When the game ended, we won. Gujin became the top scorer of the game. His teammates surrounded him and regarded him as a hero. The young man I love should be this dazzling. I really wanted to rush up, hug him tightly, and kiss him hard. 15. We had finished the water we brought, and Zhao Xiaoxing asked me to go buy water with her. When we reached the grocery store, we were blocked by those girls from the cheerleading team of Jialan High School. "Zhang Yihuan, you seem very proud today." I protected Xiaoxing behind me and said, "A good dog doesn't block the way. Move aside." They pushed me to the ground, and the leading girl poured milk on my face. "Look at your senior Qin has been seduced by you. You dare to call us dogs? Come on. Make a dog's bark and let us hear it." I was stunned and thought of Gujin. So this was what it felt like to be bullied, feeling ashamed, angry, and helpless. The girl raised her hand to slap me. A slender hand with well-defined joints grabbed her wrist. Gujin's eyes were red, and he restrained himself, shaking off the girl. Scram! The girls were scared away by him. My chest was soaked with milk, and I was a bit exposed. Gujin took off his basketball jersey and put it on me. "Can you stand up?" Yeah, Gujin helped me stand up. Gritting his teeth, he cursed, I imitated him and also cursed. Gujin was stunned and finally smiled. He went to buy water and a towel and gently wiped my face and hair. Zhao Xiaoxing stood there dumbfounded, looking shocked throughout. Back in the classroom, Zhao Xiaoxing asked 3 consecutive questions. Didn't you hate Gujin? When did you two get so close? The way he looks at you, is it what I think it is? I grasped the key point. What's wrong with the way he looks at me, like melted cheese? Me, it's so affectionate. The corners of my mouth turned up. But the way I looked at him wasn't innocent either. 16, when I got home, I saw Qin Zishu and his parents. In my previous life, we just met for the first time today, during the dinner, when it came to the matter of me going to study at Berkeley College of Music. Qin Zishu immediately said that he also had a plan to study abroad. In my previous life, I had already experienced studying abroad, and there was no need to do it again. In this life, I want to go to university with Gujin. After the Qin family left, I began to persuade Zhang Jianming, Dad, many people in China don't know much about prestigious foreign universities. If we go to study abroad without taking the college entrance examination, others will think we got in with money. It's not as prestigious as getting into Tsinghua University or Peking University. Zhang Jianming cared most about face. He thought for a moment, if you can really get into Tsinghua University or Peking University, then go and study there. After all, Tsinghua University and Peking University are also quite good. However, a rumor spread in the school that the school heartthrob of Jialan High School was chasing the school beauty of No. 1 middle school, and he wanted to go to study in Country M with me. I was too lazy to pay attention to Qin Zishu. Let him go to study abroad by himself. My attention was all on Gujin, 17. During the summer vacation of senior year of high school, Gujin started his first business venture. With the money he had saved from working part-time in the past few years, he established an electronics factory, hired 7 or 8 workers, and took on outsourcing orders for mobile phone refurbishment. This year had the same historical background as the movie Nice View. Smartphones hadn't been popularized yet, and refurbished phones with affordable prices had a good market. Each era has different opportunities. Gujin has a keen business sense. Later, he also caught up with the internet boom and became a business tycoon in just a few years. Gujin received a large order, and after completing it, he could make a profit of 200,000 yuan. He worked overtime with the workers. Even after the workers got off work, he was still working overtime, and his eyes were bloodshot from exhaustion. Gujin, pay attention to taking a rest. Don't wear yourself out, Yihuan. I'm really too poor. I want to make money, a lot of money. You can make money gradually. He looked at me with an enigmatic gaze. No, I can't be any slower. I just felt, presumably, he had endured a lot of hardships along the way. I raised my hand and touched the back of the young man's neck. Gujin, in the future, you will achieve success and fame, and you will get everything you want. So, don't push yourself too hard. Okay, I will. Although Gujin promised me, he still went his own way and worked overtime, staying up late. Finally, Gujin completed the order on schedule. 18, on the day of delivery, Gujin called me. Yihuan, yeah, I will have money. And I will become someone worthy of you. Gujin's voice even had a hint of a sob, yet it was extremely firm. Yihuan, please wait for me a little longer. Okay. Somehow, I suddenly remembered the scene of the last time I went to school in my previous life. After I finished my business, I was walking out. It was raining at that time. Suddenly, Gujin ran out in the rain. Are you leaving? Yeah. I gripped the strap of my school bag tightly, really afraid that he would go crazy again. Then, will you come back? Perhaps because I was about to leave my hometown, I felt a bit more sentimental, and my attitude towards him became a little better. I walked closer to him and held an umbrella for him. Under the same umbrella, I looked up at him. The raindrops dripped down along his chin. The young man's expression was indifferent, but his eyes were so sad. Of course I will come back. How many years? In how many years will you come back? 3 years, 5 years, it's not certain. At this moment, Zhang Chenbai called me. Huan, what are you wasting your breath on with this lunatic? Let's go. I smiled at Gujin and stuffed the umbrella into his hand. Gujin, I wish you success in the college entrance examination. Goodbye. The memory stopped abruptly. A flash of inspiration came to my mind. Perhaps, in my previous life, Gujin had liked me. That's why when he was framed for stealing money, he was so persistent in seeking my trust. That's why when I went to study abroad, he looked so sad, and at that time, influenced by my elder brother, I really hated him. Remembering the recent rumor in school that I was going to study abroad with Qin Zishu, was there also such a rumor in my previous life? So from his perspective, did he think I was going to study abroad with the person I liked? Gujin, so you worked so hard to make money, besides wanting to give Auntie a better life. Was I also a factor, because my family is rich? You felt inferior and thought you needed to make a lot of money to be worthy of me. There was silence on the other end of the phone. I pressed on. Gujin, answer me. Yes, I smiled with misty eyes. Silly, I'm not going to study abroad with Qin Zishu. I'm not going to study abroad anymore. This time, let's take the college entrance examination and get into Tsinghua University or Peking University together. After saying that, I quickly hung up the phone. My heart was pounding like a drum. And my cheeks were burning hot. Anyway, this counts as my confession first. 19. I went downstairs, planning to have a glass of ice water to calm down. Xiao Chen, I heard that there's a young lad named Gu Jin who took your company's order. I'd like to ask you to cancel the order. Ha ha ha. Okay, we can talk about that project you mentioned last time again. My dad hung up the phone, and my elder brother said proudly, Dad, you really have a way. This time, Dad avenged you. Learn from this in the future. Only barbarians solve problems by fighting. I clenched my fists. I never expected that my dad would help my elder brother deal with a high school student. I quietly went upstairs and called Gu Jin, but the phone couldn't get through anymore. When I rushed to the factory, Gu Jin wasn't there. As if that wasn't enough, at this very moment, something happened to Auntie. She fell down and had a cerebral hemorrhage. She urgently needed 100,000 yuan for the surgery, so. In my previous life, my dad and my elder brother messed up Gu Jin's order, making him unable to afford the surgery fee and causing Auntie's death. No wonder, Gu Jin hated the Zhang family so much. No wonder, when I asked him to take out 3 million yuan to help my elder brother pay off the usury, he was in so much pain. Back then, it was my father and elder brother who made him unable to even afford 100,000 yuan and made him watch helplessly as his mother died on the sickbed. This time is different. This time, he has me. I will definitely turn this situation around and change all of this. 20. I rushed to the hospital that the worker mentioned and met Gu Jin at the payment counter. He was calling Boss Chen. Boss Chen, all my goods have passed the inspection. Why did you break the contract? The other party could get greater benefits from my dad, so they must have said some unpleasant words. Gu Jin frowned. At this moment, he was willing to kneel to anyone. How about this? As long as you give me 100,000 yuan, you can take all these goods away. Even with such a concession, Boss Chen still hung up the phone. My mom passed away when I was very young. She left me a sum of inheritance, which I could freely dispose of when I turned 18. I paid the surgery fee for Auntie. Gu Jin watched me pay the fee without saying a word. Outside the operating room, Gu Jin stood there looking extremely tired. Yihuan, thank you. I will pay this money back as soon as possible. I hugged him tightly and stroked his back. Xiao Jin, don't be afraid, Auntie will be okay. Gu Jin froze, and then he hugged me and buried his face in my neck. He kept shaking. He was really afraid that his mother would die. In my previous life, when he faced all this alone, how desperate must he have been? 7 hours later, the surgery was over. The doctor said, the surgery was a success, and the patient is out of danger. The huge stone in my heart finally dropped. In this life, there is no deep-seated hatred between us, and he can finally love me wholeheartedly. 21. After many years, I had become Mrs. Gu. Back then, after Auntie recovered, I told Gu Jin what my father and elder brother had done. Gu Jin, through his own efforts, visited many companies and finally sold that batch of goods. I was completely disappointed in my father and elder brother and chose to live on campus. When the college entrance examination results came out, Gu Jin and I were both admitted to Tsinghua University or Peking University. Gu Jin built his fortune following the path of his previous life and became a business tycoon. We became the most envied couple among our classmates. Going from school uniforms to wedding dresses, Zhao Xiaoxing was playing with my twin sons and teasing, Huan Huan, why are you pregnant again? Are you the type who can get pregnant just by being looked at by Mr. Gu? Actually, he was afraid that I would be in pain and didn't want me to have a second child, but I really want a daughter, so I used a little trick. Hee. Zhao Xiaoxing gave me a thumbs up. Can you believe it? The soft and cute school beauty Zhang in high school is so bold after marriage. That's right, living 2 lifetimes isn't for nothing. Stay overnight tonight, let's sleep together. Zhao Xiaoxing crossed her hands and refused. No way, last time I slept at your place for 1 night, the way Mr. Gu looked at me clearly showed that he wanted to kill me. I laughed. Mr. Gu is a bit clingy. After my best friend left, my mother-in-law came back riding a tricycle. Over the years, my mother-in-law has always liked picking up trash. Aluminum cans and cardboard boxes are her favorites. I was worried about her, so I hired someone to accompany her when she picked up trash. Today, she had a great harvest and was stepping on aluminum cans in the courtyard of the villa. Our 3-year-old twin sons like stepping on aluminum cans the most. My mother-in-law and the children were having a great time. I wanted to help, but she immediately stopped me and pointed at my belly. "There's a baby in there, daughter-in-law. Take a rest." My mother-in-law's mental state is similar to that of a 6 or 7-year-old child, and she can really play well with the children. I sat on the deck chair and watched them having fun. I felt a sense of contentment as if time was passing peacefully. 22, the doorbell rang, and my dad and my elder brother came. Recently, the Zhang Corporation, due to poor management, had its capital chain broken. They came to ask for money. I had already given them all the inheritance my mom left me, but it was still just a drop in the bucket and couldn't fill such a huge gap. When I saw them coming, I immediately asked the nanny to take my mother-in-law and the children inside. Zhang Jianming said dissatisfiedly, "I came to see my grandchildren. As soon as I arrived, you asked someone to take the children away. What do you mean? If you just came to see the children, of course I would let you see them. I've given you all my money. If you came to ask for money, there's not a penny left." Zhang Baichen snorted coldly. "Gu Jin is so rich, what's wrong with him helping the company? He doesn't owe you anything. Back then, you messed up his order and made him unable to afford the surgery fee. You almost killed his mother. Why should he help you?" They had already killed her once. Seeing that I was emotional, my father and elder brother were afraid that I would get too worked up and harm the baby, so they left. Gu Jin's body visibly stiffened, and the ferocity on his face hadn't faded away, but he finally stopped. "Just, Yihuan, why are you crying?" Gu Jin came back. He squatted in front of me and wiped my tears. "Is the baby making you uncomfortable?" I pouted and hugged his neck. "No, it's just, I suddenly missed you so much." Gu Jin sighed and said seriously, "Then I'll take paternity leave. I don't want to go to work for even a single day anymore." Pfft. I burst into laughter through my tears. Gu Jin is so smart that nothing can be hidden from him. At night, my elder brother sent me a message. "Huan, Gu Jin said he will help us this time, and it will also be the last time he helps us." Huan, brother knows he was wrong. It was my fault back then. Others all say that Gu Jin has a stubborn character and an even harder heart, but as soon as I cry, he softens his heart. Gu Jin brought me a glass of warm milk from downstairs and watched me drink it with a loving expression. He really is like a male nanny. "Husband, when did you start liking me?" "At the opening ceremony of Senior 1, when you gave a speech as a freshman representative on the stage." "Wife, I fell in love with you at first sight. It turns out that in both lifetimes, he has always loved me, only me."